Machine guns, camouflage, kill people. That's it. He was like, well, you ever heard of an Airborne Ranger? I was like, on Breakfast Club. It's reactor grenade nonstop. You got this trip, this, like whatever. It's never ending. And then all of a sudden you get out and you stop. And this is what I've learned. Well, tell me this. What are you involved in? What are you doing now? Tell me what are you doing for you? Like, because I can see it. Because as soon as, it doesn't matter what you did, the whole proximity to target thing and all that stuff, like every player, every person, as soon as that's gone, they all go through the same thing. And I describe it this way. You have a ticket on a roller coaster that you don't have a choice. And there's a huge dip coming. And it's how you react at this part right here, what's going to determine the rest of your life, right? You're either going to crash and burn, or you're going to dip off, or you're going to skip off the bottom. But you're going towards the ground. You don't have a choice, because think about it. Think about everything that's changed. You don't have deployments, you don't have TDYs, you don't have temporary breaks from family or any of that. That's great, but what I'm saying is now all of a sudden you're home. And guess here's the perfect one. And you don't know how to deal with emotion.
This is Alone and Unafraid. This episode is brought to you by Polestar Coffee.
Good morning. Can I take your order?
Can I get a tall chai?
A large black coffee.
A what?
Large black coffee.
Do you mean a venti?
No, I mean a large.
He means a venti. Yeah, the biggest one you got.
Venti is large.
No, venti is 20.
Danny.
Yeah. Large is large. In fact, tall is large, and grande is Spanish for large. Venti's the only one that doesn't mean large. It's also the only one that's Italian. Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages.
And just because you listen to Alone and Unafraid, you're getting 10% off when you use offer code ALONE at checkout. That's right, support your friends, fuel your day, stop drinking garbage. You're already drinking coffee anyway, might as well make it count. Head over to polestarcoffee.com, grab a bag, use offer code ALONE at checkout, and taste the difference. You're not going to be sorry, I promise you. Do it. Is that a curry knife?
Yeah, I totally fake shaved with this whenever I was talking to him. I was just like,
on a
yeah, like Predator.
Yeah,
I totally did Predator just to fuck with him. It was so funny, just to watch his face. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're a veteran? Like, oh yeah, like talking, and then I just pull this fucking thing off, and
you're like, oh, you don't have a regimental Gurkha knife? Lame.
Seriously, how many heads have you cut off?
Yeah. Obviously not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Hey, we're talking with Danny Archer. Tyler and I both know Danny. We served together in the 160th Special Operations Regiment, Airborne.
Aviation Regiment.
Did I say that? What did I say?
Yeah, you
fucked it all up.
It was not good.
I've been so
fucking
far,
embarrassment.
I've been so far out of the loop. Look, I'm unemployed. Everything's gone, man. I had to get a haircut because I was looking like Grizzly Adams a little bit today. So, but Danny, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. No, it's pretty interesting. I've seen some of your shows, see the little glimpses. I'm like, what are they doing? And then
nobody knows.
Next thing you know, here I am. So.
Yeah, apparently people really like the bullshit episodes, like the ones where we just bullshit with people.
I'm good at that.
Those are really, really popular. Like I was getting my haircut today, and my barber was talking about all the episodes he listens to. So shout out to Cody for cutting my hair. He's a good dude.
I don't have enough hair to cut. So
yeah. Well, it's one more administrative note. I would be remiss if I didn't say today is my 25th anniversary. So my beautiful wife, who doesn't actually listen to this show, happy anniversary. I'm sure she's here with you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure she's stoked you're here with us.
Sweet romantic evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like typical. But yeah, so Danny has had an interesting career. Most people don't know that when you first came to the regiment, you were a Kilo model Black Hawk guy. Yeah. Did you know
That's
that,
right.
Tyler?
Not until you told me, and I used to think a lot more of you before I knew that, and then I was
You shut your mouth when you're talking.
kind of
to me.
let down. We're just being honest, right?
No, it was an interesting career because I got to use both bathrooms.
Yeah, the men's bathroom and the girls' bathroom.
Well, but you started
Stand
out.
up. Stand up.
You
Stand
started.
up.
You have to sit down to pee, man. It's like prison
It's
rules.
prison rules.
You started out actually enlisted in the Ranger Regiment, right?
That's right.
And
So-
which battalion were you in?
2nd Ranger Battalion.
Oh, you were at
Fort
Lewis?
Washington. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Just under 6 years.
what? Holy schmoly! So, did you know Rich and all those guys? Were you there at the same time? Rich Knoth and Collis, Truly, and Adam
So-
Jones.
Adam, yeah, he was out there. He's one of the famous cooks out there. But
Yeah.
then, Chris Wright,
Wade Davis.
Wade, yeah, we were in the same company. Actually, they were both FOs in my company.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah, there's a whole shitload of us that were all out there that all switched over into the aviation world.
Yeah. I mean,
I was the only guy that won commission. So
Did you go green to gold?
no, I played baseball in college before I came in, and then it didn't work out. I wanted to get signed, didn't happen. So had that midlife crisis at 22. Was pissed at the world. Needed to get away, so the military called. No, check this out. I literally went into the recruiter office, and they're like, "Well, what do you want to do? You got any college?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got college." Like, "Oh, well, you got to like, no." I'm like, machine guns, camouflage, kill people. They're like, "What?" Machine guns, camouflage, kill people. That's it. He's like, "Well, you ever heard of an airborne ranger?" I was like, "On Breakfast Club." And showed me this video, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "All right." And I literally signed the paperwork and left 28 days later. There you
Nice. That's I don't remember that part in the Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, I want to be an airborne ranger when he's ripping those signs off the hallway.
Is it the guy that's
Yeah.
wearing like the OD green, the black haired guy?
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I have one of those stupid memories. So
Yeah. We usually talk all kinds of shit about movie quotes, and somebody told me that was a thing of people with a certain type of ADHD use movie quotes as like normal conversation. And I was like, man, should I do that all the time?
seriously, I am a firm believer that the guys that get sucked to this community, right? We all are missing something, right? Like it's interesting because it doesn't matter what walk of life, what background they have, or anything. What they look like doesn't matter because you talk to them and you're like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? Like that's why it traditionally works. I talk to it like you're either called to it. It's like a song that not everybody can hear, and you either get called or you don't hear it at all. And then, traditionally how we are is if you're either in the circle or you can fuck off. Right. So, and that's how we kind of functioned forever. So,
yeah. It's most people also don't know that you did. I mean, so when I first met you, you were the D Company, the Delta 3160th commander.
Mhm.
And so just to set the stage, I don't remember, you probably don't remember this, but we were at Kevin Barry's Irish pub, RIP, no longer there
God
in
rest his
Savannah,
soul. Right.
which was a huge tragedy that place is gone now. What a cool place. I think Vic Powers was the guy that owned that place. So we're at Kevin Barry's upstairs in the Hall of Heroes, and just to set the stage for the folks that aren't familiar, it's like a super old, probably 19th century, if not 18th century, probably 18th century building right on River Street in Savannah. And the bottom looks exactly what you think an Irish tavern should look like. It smells like piss. It's dark as shit, like
Right.
wood, uneven floor, wooden kind of U-shaped bar. And then you go upstairs and on these rickety ass stairs that go upstairs. And the Hall of Heroes had, really, it was primarily a Ranger bar and with the little 160th sprinkled in. They have a small, Navy section and a small Marine Corps section and some Coast Guard. They had all those Coast Guard cutter like life ring things, and but I think the Rangers had the biggest portion of the wall, and then 3rd Battalion probably had the next largest size, and really
they're
cool.
all locals, right? Not locals like from stationed there. Everybody on those walls was stationed in and around that area.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah. And then they had a place where guys who were killed in action, you could buy a shot and leave it in there, and they use those little POW MIA bracelets, like bent and then screwed into the wall, and then you could I think like Clay Carpenter from Charlie Company, he had his one up there, and so it was just a really cool place. But we were there for the it had to be who knows. It was
was it the auction?
There was the auction. Yeah, we were there.
That I was the auctioneer.
You were the auctioneer, and so I walk in. I went with John Wellington and Chuck Trilone, and shout out to John who listens to the show too. So I'm in there with Chucky T and John, and you're over there doing the auction, and there's like a bunch of blue hair old money Savannah ladies in there, and like. I'm like, hey, who's that dude? And they're like, oh, it's the D Company commander. And I was like, oh, cool. And then like the next thing I heard was like fucking shit and bitch and titties and like, and I was like, I was blushing, and I'm like, I was a soldier, and those old ladies were loving it. They were just eating it up, and they were all opening up their wallets and bidding on like shit that I wouldn't spend like $20 on.
I raised like 2.3 million that night.
Yeah, they were just. I mean, and it was to the point where I was like, hey man, should we go like pull him off the stage? Like, I mean, it was, I'm going to stop short of unhinged, but it was,
why don't you let me set the stage?
Yeah.
You just make me sound like a fucking loon.
Yeah.
So I hadn't eaten. I had grabbed the plate, and Bill Golden was the battalion commander, and Jason DeGeorge was the XO.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm getting ready to eat. And then DeGeorge walks over with a double bourbon. He's like, hey, the boss wants you to warm up the crowd. I go, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I haven't eaten. He's like, no, you're drinking. And I go, okay. I'm like, he's like, yeah. He's like, he wants you to just go. And I go, dude, no filters. I remember somebody getting up, a girl, and then going to the bathroom, and she's in there for a couple of minutes, right? And then I'm like, I'm just up there, and I ran the auction, and if you moved, that was a bid. And by the end of the night, I had every dude, like everybody was just like this, frozen, didn't like, oh, that's a bid, right? And if you just like that, Tyler, you would have just bid because you itched your nose. And I mean, the prices were just skyrocketing. And then that person comes back in. I'm like, oh, did you have a nice poo-poo? Dude, seriously. It was. I
was like, who the fuck is this guy? And they're like, yeah, that's the commander of Delta Company. I was like zero. That's a commander? Like, what? And
welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
And a lot of people don't know, or I'm sure people do know, but you actually did. Let's see. I remember when you reverted to be a warrant officer. So you were enlisted, then to commission officer, went all the way to major, and then you reverted. I think you were like the second guy in the regiment, like in recent history, to do it. I think John Raby might have been before you, or maybe after you.
He was after me. Yeah,
he was after. Were you one of the first guys in recent history?
So there was a gap. There was Mark Scoville and Leach, You know,
Okay.
one was a DAP guy, one was a Little Bird guy. They reverted, and then there was a gap.
Yeah.
And then I was on my last rotation in Afghanistan, was going to come back, and it was paperwork time. And literally, I woke up like this, like, and I'm just like, and it just came to me. I'm like, I'm not done. I've got more, you know, like I was never in competition for battalion command. Like I as a captain, I'm like, I'm retiring in 2016 post command.
Yeah.
That was the deal. And
Yeah.
I had that epiphany. And then, you know, I was just like, you know what? And actually, Colonel Ryan was the first battalion commander at the time. He was getting ready to take the regiment. He was over there with me. I was the DJ3. And I was like, hey, sir, let me ask you something. He's like, because I've known him for a long time. And he's like, what's up? I'm like, thinking about reverting and becoming a warrant. I'm like, what do you think about that? Because, you know, it hadn't happened for a while. And he's like, oh, you're going to revert? Well, he's like, come be a Black Hawk guy. I'll take you right now. I was like, no shit. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, I'll think about that. So, and it just went, well, and because I was a Hawk guy out of flight school. Then, you know, I got E models, but there before on the front side of that, I flew Little Birds just a smidge when I was in HAC regiment. Then E model or D model green AQC down at Rucker, followed by the MH-47E Green Platoon. Then it was E-160, A2, D2. Then I had to go to the captain's career course. And then when I was gone, they're like, hey, we need you to be a Black Hawk guy. What do you think about that? And I'm like, you know, I don't care. Why would I like another aircraft? Sure. So I come back, do a K model Green Platoons to the Black Hawk Green Platoon, followed by DAP qual, followed by the MTP course, gets all signed off. And then it was, I was, you know, family things. We were going to move down to Savannah, did an interview. And then they're like, yeah, hey, we want you to come down. I was getting ready for like F1-ish type time. And then I was in F1 at the time. And then they're like, yeah, you come down to 3rd Battalion, which get you sequenced in for command. But we want to use you as a Chinook guy. And I was like, I just got signed off on all this stuff on Black Ops. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Like, so sure as shit, literally within like 2 weeks of finishing all of the Black Hawk stuff and gutting all of my smart books and all of my stuff to make it a Black Hawk thing, I go back to Chinooks, but now from E models, I go to G models. So I do a quick in-house AQC, then boom, my PCS down, and then I try to, you know, I get up as an MTP, and then that's through command. And then whenever I was going to revert, then my option was, I thought tactically, I'm like, well, I haven't flown Black Hawks. I'm Black Hawk qualified. I'm CAS qualified. I just, not mission-wise per se. So I pitched that, well, you know, if I revert, why don't I just go Black Hawks? And that's, you know, like we knew where like Seco was at the time, and then, you know, it made sense, right? So
Yeah.
get all freaking signed off, you know, go through to the in-house AQC. The next thing you know, oh, we need Chinook people. Like, what?
Yeah. That was,
And then
I mean, that's when you came to Charlie Company. And for the folks that aren't picking up on the jargon, like F1 is Foxtrot Company or Fox Company 1st Battalion. So if we say like F1 or D1, we're saying the company and then the battalion after that. So Charlie 3 would be Charlie Company 3rd Battalion, or Alpha 2, or, you know, Alpha 2, Alpha Company 2nd Battalion, so on and so forth. So, yeah, because you came over to Charlie Company, and I was like, oh, hey, what? Because I think I was the SP at the time.
Yeah.
And so for the folks that aren't familiar with those acronyms, SP is like the chief pilot of that, you know, that entity. And you were like, hey, I'm going to be a Black Hawk guy. And I was like, oh, okay, well, and we were really short people. And then it maybe was like, what, like you were there for maybe 6 weeks or 2 months, maybe, or was it longer than that?
I mean, I literally long enough to get my BMQ check ride.
Yeah. And then because I got a call from, gosh, who was the battalion SP then? It was, I'm drawing a blank, but I got a call
What?
from battalion. Who was it?
Blackhawk wise?
No, like it was a 47 guy.
Indubitably.
Not Jimmy. Whoever was before him.
Is it Mike Larson?
Jeff Simon.
No, Jeff hadn't come back yet.
We'll go through all the names.
No, but it
Seriously.
might have been Mike. It might have been Mike.
Was it Tim Denton?
No, it was Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the battalion senior warrant officer. He's like, hey man.
Yeah, Mike was. Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, but I need Danny Archer back in. I think you went to BCO, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, he's like, I need him in BCO.
He's more of a Chinook guy anyway.
And I was like, what the fuck, Mike? I spent time training this guy. And like, we went to war over it and we lost. And you went back to the Chinook world and then went on to do
Bigger
good things.
And better things, yeah.
Yeah. When did you retire? What year did you retire?
April 23, I officially came off the books. But I got medically retired at, so that took probably 13, 14 months. No, because I fought one of my ratings. So.
Oh, okay. What, how many years total active service? Because I mean, I remember when you were over 20 when you were a major. Yeah. So what was your total time?
27 and a half.
Dang.
Good Lord.
So.
You're on my last deployment as well.
Oh, we're in Afghan?
Iraq, 2015.
That was your last deployment?
Yeah.
So were you there? Was that the one with Chris Peters was the Blackhawk flight lead?
Probably, yeah.
And they did the big mish where Wheeler got killed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, that was I rotated out right before you guys got there because it was me and Rob Stewart were there. And then we switched out with Chris and I think Ryan Grant, maybe.
Yeah, it was Ryan Grant.
Yeah, it was Ryan Grant and Chris Peters switched out with us. And then they did the big mish. And that's like the story of my life. Every big mish, I'm like the one in front of it or the one after it.
Small world. So what was really interesting about that rotation is me and Josh, we were in Ranger Battalion together.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So when we first did the face-to-face for that, I was flying with Sean Redmond and we were doing some dust landings where we met them. And then we went in, he's like, hey, look, we'll just go in and do some face-to-face. And it's inevitable. Like I've been in forever. My network, and every time we go do anything like this, I know 2 to 3 people. And so sure as shit, we walk into their little area and, it's funny. I think I know 3 of them. And Josh is there and he's actually running it. And of course, I walk around the corner and, guys are trying to be like all official and whatever. And I'm like, what's up, motherfucker? And then like, oh, and we're hugging it out like, and I'm messing around, putting the quad goggles on. And what was awesome is because me and Josh, we were always super, super friendly, right? So it was like he was always in our planning cell. And so guys all got to know him. And it was really cool because we were kind of, meshing the ground force and the air component together. And then, whenever that happened, and but I mean, Vikings death, right? But it was a really awesome way to at least, that was my niche, right? So that was always the thing, right?
When and if you don't feel like answering this, you don't have to. But when you were on that mission, did you know that it was him? Or, I mean, because usually they're not going to, it's usually by call sign, but did you know then, or was it until when you guys got back that you had heard?
So, because I had just switched back, I didn't fly that mission.
Oh, so you didn't?
No, they were doing double FMQ cockpits.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I was like the one of 2 B&Qs or something like that. So, like, I had to sit out, but whenever someone got hit, and then I don't know, like
it was the chaplain.
It wasn't
that came
long.
In.
Yeah, then he came and found me and told me, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, because it was you, Tyler, and Rob Harless, right? Was the commander? Was he the commander then?
I don't know. It was
Scott Gale was over there.
Scott Gale.
Yeah,
he was my commander, and so. But yeah, man, that was a track. It
was a strange night.
Well, and we were so far, like that theater was so far removed from casualties that it kind of sent a shock through everybody that let me rephrase that. This was the beginning of our kind of ramp up to fight ISIS in 15. This would have been October, maybe?
Yeah, it was October.
Was October 15? Because I was over there in August, September. So, it was August because my stepmom died in August, and I relieved Mike Hansen. And so that's the time I had to take a Lufthansa flight into Iraq, which was surreal. Taking a commercial airliner into it was Erbil. It was Erbil. So
your peanut trash in the trash can on your way out the door. I'm like, yeah, I'm home.
Yeah. I was like all the man dresses in the airport at the. I thought for sure I was going to get Allah Akbar in there getting my bags from the little carousel thing, and then two dudes rolled up to operators and like, hey man, are you Thad? I'm like, clearly I'm the only white dude in here, and they're like, all right. Well, they had a Helix, and I jumped in the back of that thing and did our thing. But this episode is brought to you by Cadence Wealth Partners. You need to get your financial shit together. And who better to do that than a former military dude? Specifically, I'm talking about Nick O'Kelly. You know he's legit, long tabber, special forces, 160th pilot. He's not your average dude. Now, I take small piles of money and I give it to him with the goal of making them bigger piles of money. We're not just talking about only managing money. We're talking about building a financial strategy, estate planning, retirement planning. We're talking 5-paragraph op order kind of shit, but for your finances. Visit financeforvets.com. That's finance, the number 4 vets.com to start a conversation today. Kind of to take it back. So you did 27 years in the Army. Did you know when you were getting out what your plan was to get out?
No.
How did you?
Yeah. How did I what?
You're doing mortgages now, but at the time, what was your plan? Did you have a plan getting out, or what was the plan there?
So, look, I've been in a leadership position for a long time. I see guys get out, and I see guys fail miserably. And I self-identified pretty quickly with loss of purpose, right? I could see that.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out how can I do that same thing. And here's the other thing. I was not interested in wearing a suit, sitting in the cubicle, traveling, any of that shit, right? Like, I know what I am. I know how I speak. I'm very blunt. It's probably not for the faint of heart, right? So, not that I can't. It's just that at that point, as you're going through that transition, everybody goes through that mental thrash, right? And it's panicking. So, Gulfstream, it was a possibility, but then I was like, travel 6 months out of the year, managing a government contract, wasn't interested. And then mortgage kept coming up. And honestly, I didn't know anything about it. I never heard of a mortgage loan originator. I had no idea. But then whenever I learned about it, I realized that's I'm like, if you're just a good dude and you didn't bullshit people, you didn't sell people, you could probably do pretty good. You could protect people from the vultures of the business. And that kind of started me. And I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial bug that I've never been able to kind of feed. And that kind of got me started. And that was about the same time that I found horses. So it was near simultaneous. So
when you were getting out and you said you went through the mental thrashing, how long was it? Did you jump right into mortgages on your way out? Like, did you kind of have that? You had that set up?
As soon as I got into the medical separation stuff,
yeah,
I got my license so that I could learn the business. My idea is let me get 6 months of building it before my paycheck is cut off, so that hopefully by the time that I'm up, business is going, right? Business, like it's flowing, so it wouldn't be it's commission only, right? So that's tough, but I don't know. I was fairly confident that it would take me, I could probably get it going, and it worked. It took me a while to find the success that I'm starting to see now, but
was Chaz doing it then?
Yeah,
before was he doing it?
That's who I started with.
Okay, yeah.
And how long ago did you get out?
So my retirement was September of 22, but I was still on the books until April of 23. Like, we did my ceremony because it was already coordinated with family and stuff, but then there was a delay because of paperwork and blah blah.
Army,
and then it took another 4 or 5 months. So April of 23 officially out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you didn't have, like, people tend to think like from an officer's perspective that everything is great and they're gonna. I mean, your road. I mean, the time that you were coming to Charlie Company, you were also going through a divorce at that time, if I remember right. I mean, so a lot of people think that, or when I was enlisted, I always thought that officers like had this perfect life and everything was great for them. And I think you find the same types of struggles across the board in all ranks. But what Tyler and I have really noticed is people that get out, they all have some version of a real struggle, and some people it last a long time. Some people it's really short and they figure it out really quickly. And I remember hearing all this stuff about, oh, you're going to transition, you're going to get out, and it's not going to be easy. And my first 2 years were awesome. I remember talking to you about doing the med board and all that stuff. And I left the Army and went straight into like a paramilitary organization where Tyler and I used to work. And it was a very easy switch for me. But I didn't really realize until probably in the last 7 or 8 months that, like, I've been really struggling with losing purpose and basically all the things you said.
Well,
and
it's easy to hide yourself in a task, right? Like, once you start, like, your wheels come off, but you're like, well, I'm only useful if I'm producing something, right? And for somebody else, not producing something for myself. As long as I'm producing something for the team, you feel useful. So it's easier to hide you
feel like you have value.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is so wrongfully misplaced.
Yeah.
So what I've kind of, as I've gotten into this, look, I'm not a psychologist. I am the idiot that runs through the thorn bush field at 140 miles an hour.
And then twice.
And then turns around and says, like, hey, just follow me, like I made a trail, right? So I don't speak from a place of, like, personal success. I speak from a place of personal failures, right? And it's not that I'm super jacked up, right? But what I'm saying is that people are used to operating up at this high level with a certain level of chaos in their life, right? And the regiment is nothing but chaos. It's reactive grenade, nonstop. You got this trip, this, like, whatever. It's never ending. And then all of a sudden you get out and you stop. And this is what I've learned as I talk to, with like when I do VA loans, guess what? I'm doing a counseling. Tyler, you're interested in doing a VA loan? We talk, and I start asking questions. Well, tell me this. What are you involved in? What are you doing now? Well, I mean, what are you doing for you? Like, because I can see it. I'm like, because as soon as, it doesn't matter what you did, the whole proximity to target thing and all that stuff, like, every player, every person, as soon as that's gone, they all go through the same thing. And I describe it this way. You have a ticket on a roller coaster that you don't have a choice. And there's a huge dip coming. And it's how you react at this part right here is what's going to determine the rest of your life, right? You're either going to crash and burn, or you're going to dip off, or you're going to skip off the bottom. But you're going towards the ground. You don't have a choice, because think about it. Think about everything that's changed. You don't have deployments. You don't have TDYs. You don't have temporary breaks from family or any of that. Not that that's, like, great. But what I'm saying is now all of a sudden you're home. And and guess here's the perfect one. And you don't know how to deal with emotion. Think about this. It's like you go out on a mission and somebody gets killed, right? Josh. And then what do? We come back and we debrief the mission. You have a memorial for maybe 30 minutes. You bag it up, chuck it in the corner, and you get another grid coordinate and you get back after it. So then no wonder you're socially handicapped whenever you get out, or emotionally handicapped, because you don't know how to deal with emotion. And now all of a sudden, all you're doing is living with emotion, and now society is super touchy, right? Touchy-feely. You can't say certain things or whatever. And then you wonder why you're struggling. So it behooves you, if you're not around those people that you're used to, and you're not used to speaking the way that you're used to doing, you're going to struggle because the rules are completely different. Like, I think I post a lot. Like, getting into the business was difficult during the market post very super low interest rates, and then they went high, and and I'm like, you're a realtor and I'm new as shit, and I haven't done any loans. Like, I realized I had to get in front of realtors to make business, and social media was the way I did it. And I made one literally about, like, look, give yourself a break. You don't know how to function on emotion. We're not wired to function on emotion. We function on logic and like tactical need. That's it. Like, what is the thing? Whenever you look at a tactical situation, there's traditionally, that's the direction we have to go. And there's nothing more to it, and we go. That's it. That's the thought process. And that doesn't work anywhere else now. And so, for me, like, and again, like, so the horses, right? So I'm going through all this personally, right?
How did you get into the horses?
Yeah, perfect. So my daughter was riding at a place here in Savannah, and she was volunteering there, and I was sitting in the truck. I had no interest of horses. Like, I'm an animal person, but like, the idea of riding a horse makes me want to vomit because my back and my knees are so jacked up.
When you told me about it last, maybe it was like 18 months ago, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're the horse guy? Like, what?
So, but understand, horse guy isn't like I'm up and I'm doing Yellowstone, riding across the field, shooting to 30-30. I take care of a horse. I hang out with a horse. I feed it. I lead it around. And so here it is. So I'm in the truck and I'm waiting. She's over there. They're feeding and filling up water buckets and whatnot. And they one of those water hoses where the hose, just, it's external. And they were reeling in the hose, and it went on the outside, and it got all chewed up. And I'm sitting there in my truck, and I'm in my flip-flops. I'm like, so I get out and I stomp over in my flip-flop, like, move, and then I pull the hose out, and then I reel it back in, so it's nice and tight. And now I'm standing in mud. My feet are all muddy. I'm like, son of a bitch, right? So I'm like, mentally, I'm like, the next time I'm going to wear shoes. So I wear shoes the next time, and then guess what? I'm just like, well, shit, let me just go help. And then the next time, now I'm actually helping feed. And I end up in a stall with a horse. And like this new video that we get, we talk about it. And so I'm feeding this horse, water, and then like he's just looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And he's just like looking in my eyes. And it was just like, and he's just checking me out, like, kind of like, I don't know, Avatar, right? You make the whatever connection. And seriously, we just keep going, and I feel this like crazy, weird calm. And so I talked to the lady that ran it, and whenever I got done, I was like, man, that was crazy. She's like, what? I'm like, what happened? And so she starts telling me all this science and horses and the benefit of like being with humans and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, shit, like, if it's good for me, it would be good for other people. Like, have you ever considered having a veterans program? And she's like, well, I had one pre-COVID, but then it died with COVID, and I don't know any veterans. And she didn't know I was a veteran. And I go, well, check it out. I'm a veteran, and I know thousands of people. Like, you want to do this? I'm like, we can do this, but it will grow. Well, 2 weeks later, we had our first class. And so we started there, and we did that, and it was good. But eventually, we got to a point where we needed to be in a place specifically for veterans by veterans, right? And that wasn't the main focus of the place, so it just got a little dirty. So we ended up switching barns just for more freedom, and now we're at Kevin Purdum's house. Yeah, at his barn.
No way.
Yeah, he's at KP's.
I didn't know that.
Dude.
And
so
old balls.
That. Yeah, no, it's the craziest shit, right? So I get to this moment where we're like, we have to separate and find this new.
And for Kevin Purdom is a Chinook helicopter pilot. Was also in our battalion, and he built this huge. He bought this. I think it was 6 or 8 acres over there.
A whole lot more now.
It's more. Maybe it was 25 acres.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I remember when he built that. I used to live right down the street from him. So I remember when he built that place, and he used to have to park his truck up by the road because it was so muddy. He couldn't get back there, and they like cleared every one of those trees and like took them down, and like he was out there on his tractor like making the front like flat because it was fucking woods, man. It was like legit woods.
And
he built that.
Now.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
but here's where this like story is like. So I'm in this like we're in this like impasse, right? Time to go. And I bump into Kevin. Hadn't seen him in I don't know how long. And I'm in Lowe's parking lot in my truck waiting to. Then I see him walking across, and automatically I'm like, man, I haven't seen KP for a long time. I'm like, you know what? He probably could use the horse program. So I'm like, Kevin, and he's like, hey, you know. So we have a little catch up, and I'm like, dude, like. You got any interest in horses? Like, you know, you should probably join the horse program. You know, we've got going on. And he's like, I got horses. Well, that registers. He shows me some pictures. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I thought he only had like 2. And then whenever, you know, now fast forward just a little bit, now we're at this part, and I think back to that moment. So I cold call him. I'm like, hey, Kevin, man, like, this is a weird ask. I'm like, we don't have a home for our veterans program, and I need to get guys with horses. Would you be interested if we just, you know, hung out and did some horse stuff at your farm for a little bit until we figure things out? He's like, no, I don't mind. You know, easygoing Kevin, right? So we show up, meet him and his wife. And honestly, it was like it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because they have these horses called Gypsy Vanners, which are like short Clydesdales. But they're like the Labrador Retriever of horses.
They're like a draft horse. What's that what you call them?
So drafts are like huge.
The
like
big ones.
Yeah, the ones that pull the carts downtown. So these are
the
short.
Budweiser Clydesdale. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. But these horses are like people lover, and they're like the perfect animal for equine therapy because they're super calm. They're good around kids. And they love attention, and like they will totally come up to you and lay their head on your shoulder and you just give them a little head hug. Like, and so we started there. And then honestly, that's probably been a couple months now, but now we're creating this small veteran horse community. And now instead of like Tyler, if you were the veteran and you wanted to come out, now I'm like, hey, Tyler, because here's how you get the buy-in. You ready?
Send it.
Tyler, why don't you and your family come out here and hang out with the horses? And guess what? Because he's got 10 horses. They've got a mini horse. So even the little kids can go and play with a horse. He's 20 years old. And seriously, his pores don't work, so feed him beer. He drinks beer. It helps hydrate him. So I
do that chill. For my pores too.
He's chill as shit, right? But that little change, bring your family, dude. Ultimate buy-in, because now you take kids that are traditionally tied into cell phones and whatever else, and they're just, you know, walking around. Like one of my son's friends, you know, he's like this, and he wanted to do, so he needed some volunteer hours for school. And I told him, I'm like, hey, check it out. You can come, but if I see your face on the phone one time, that restarts your 3 hours. So like, I don't want to see your phone. He's like, yes, sir. We go out. They had the time of their life because you don't have a choice, because the horses are there. They need attention. They demand your attention. And then here's like some really badass stuff, right? Things that I've learned along the way. So the horse's heart is 5 times bigger than ours. And so whenever you get near a horse and they can sense you from like 15 feet, your energy, everything. And you get close, they're jiving. You know, if you start jiving, what will happen is because their heart beats so slow, your heart rate naturally comes down and then matches their heart rate. It's fucking crazy. And then, you know, the other thing is because there's a word, and I made a reel on this, neuroplasticity. So because the horse forces you to live in the present right now. And it's awesome. Like Like you're getting this crazy feedback from the horse, and they're enjoying it, and it's naturally creating serotonin for you and the horse. So it's mutually beneficial. And while you're doing this, it's causing your brain, the synapse in your brain, to reprogram and force you to live in the present right now. So in this section right here, you have this trauma stored up, and it causes you to trigger these emotions every time, right? And you get stuck there. Hanging out with a horse forces you to bypass that. It creates a new synapse. It's actually rewiring your brain. You're like, you're an idiot. Why? What are you talking about? Like, I just want to ride a horse like Yellowstone. Like, and here's what happens. Every time people come out there and they hang out, they walk away and they're just like this. I'm like, what I tell people, check in with yourself real quick. Feel how you feel. Talk to me in 2 hours. And then when they're driving home, they're just like, gone.
My daughter had anxiety really bad, and she was always kind of into horses, and not until we moved to Florida did she start. And it's all English riding around where we live, and it's very expensive. And she basically kind of muscled her way into this barn and was like, "Look, I will, muck stalls. I'll do whatever. I just want to ride." And she had really bad anxiety, and then just for her going to the barn, I didn't know any of that stuff you just said. I just knew that it chilled her out. And then she actually ended up, a lady came to the barn with this this Amish horse, like horse and buggy kind of horse, and the lady had bought it from a kill pen for $50, and they were going to kill it and make, I guess, glue out of it or something. And this lady, the horse wouldn't let anybody ride it. The lady that owned it was bucked off. It broke her back. And the lady was like, "Look, I don't want to, I got on the horse and it I shouldn't have been on it, and I wasn't ready. So it bucked me off, and I don't want anything to happen to it." So basically they took it to this barn where my daughter worked, and we're just like, just let him live his life. Cause he had all these scars all over his back from with a whip from the Amish guys. And, my daughter was there working, and the horse and her just kind of met. And then they just kind of, like, my daughter would go there to that barn and like sleep in the stall with him. Like,
no shit.
She would spend all day Saturday, all day Sunday over there with the horse. And eventually the lady that owned the horse was like, "Hey, or the stable master, the lady that owned the barn, was like, "Hey, you think you want to try to ride him?" And, we were like, "Hell no, she broke that lady's back. Like, don't let her get on there." And the lady that owned the barn was like, "She'll be okay." Like, they have a bond. And my daughter got on that horse, and like, it couldn't like canter, which is like the run. Canter is like a run. Mm-hmm. It couldn't really do anything. And my kid took that horse from nothing to winning first place at hunt seat competitions, and they were jumping like 4 feet jump, 3 foot jumps. And now she's the horse. My daughter's in college, so she couldn't take the horse with her. So we don't own the horse; just a lady we know owns her. Mm-hmm. And she's, she was just home over the weekend, and she was over there riding the horse for like 20 minutes before she had to go back to school. But yeah, it's amazing the power of horses. And it never really clicked in my mind until you just said that about the rewiring the synapses, because she would have all kinds of anxiety and issues. And when she would go with that horse, she was just, calm down, chill. And then, she'd get worked up again at school or something, and then go back to the horse and be chill again. So I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought it was just horse girls,
No, I've seen a nonverbal handicapped child get on a horse and then start talking within like 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Crazy. I had no idea. I was like, what? But it does. Like, you see these kids that, because, therapeutic riding for handicapped children was one of the things at the first barn. And And I would see, these super afflicted kids, and then they would get on there, and then all of a sudden you would see them, and it's startling. So for me now, like, dude, I have guys, that we used to work with reach out to me, and I'm like, hey, I don't care. Here, I'm going to send you a connection. Here's our group me. We have a group me chat. Send it to them, like, sign up. I connect them with Charlene. So that's Kevin's wife, who's like,
yep.
So Kevin does girls softball. Coaches girls softball, fast pitch, tournaments, all that stuff. He's like, I don't care about horses. He's like, if I like horses, I'm going to have to buy more horses.
Yeah, she's the horse. And I think his daughter, is it his dauter's into horses?
Lev.
Yeah.
So, and I will tell you, literally, this is what I do. It happened just a couple of days ago. A wife of a soldier will reach out to me and say, hey, Mike, would you talk to my husband? He's going through some stuff. I'm like, absolutely. Because, like, seriously, I'm still that guy in the regiment. Like, soldiers will still call me. Like, hey, Danny, I got this. What do you think about this? I'm like, all right. And I just give it straight to them, right? Like, give them the life lessons or give them options. What do? I talk to her, and then I do a 3-way text with the couple, and then Charlene as an introduction. And then now they have a free carte blanche invitation to go out there anytime.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There,
KP, once I was in the UAE in Abu Dhabi, and he took my whole crew out at a bar. And if you've never drank in the UAE, it's expensive because it's a Muslim country. And Kevin probably dropped like $800 on beer, and like would not take $1 from any of us. He was like, nope, you're guest here. I got it. And I was like, holy shit, making those big ducats, bro. But yeah, that was probably had to be 14. It was before we went back. The Charlie Company went back to Afghanistan, so it could have been 13 or 16. Who knows? I don't remember. But yeah, that I didn't really realize about. I mean, animals can sense. Like dogs are really good about especially my dogs are really good about sensing if somebody has ill intent when they come.
Yep.
Or they're just like, if my dog doesn't like you, like, it's already a character thing for me. I'm like, this guy's got a problem. Is your dog like that, Tyler?
Odin?
Yeah, because that's a scary dog. I mean, he's a big dog.
He gets angry when people come to the door, but he's a good dude. He hangs out because when we go places, there's this app that we use for dog sitters, and you just find one that's in your area and you just go drop them off. So he spends a lot of time with a lot of other people. He was when we had the animals up in Vermont, he went straight into German Shepherd mode. I mean, like protect
shepherding,
everything.
Yeah.
Herded the chickens and keep animals away from the goats. You know what I mean? We had a fox come snatch a chicken, and he had no formal follow these animals, hunt these things training, and he saw that I had my gun, and he's like, hey, what's going on, bro? And I was like, hey, little buddy, somebody ate one of our chickens. And he's like, they did? And I was like, yeah, bro. And so we went and found all the chicken feathers, and he looks up at me, looks down at the feathers, and puts his nose down and just goes fucking straight to the fox's den.
Oh shit.
Half mile away. He's like, hey, how'd I do? I was like, man, that's pretty good. I didn't think you were going to do that. At first I thought he was fucking losing his mind. I was like, he's just taking me off into the woods. Yeah. Then every 200 yards, you'll see a feather. I was like, oh, he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they can sense, dogs can sense if somebody's character is bad.
Absolutely.
I've had, my daughter brings some dude over, and my dog's like, fuck this guy, and I'm immediately feed this guy is, and then it turns out that dude was a total piece of trash, and it's amazing how animals. Now cats, man, fuck those guys.
Yeah, because they hate you.
Cats hate everything. Do you got cats, Dan?
I do not have cats, but I have daughters, which means we have 4 cats, and we have 2 big dogs, and we live in a zoo.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you one cat story, because we had this one badass cat named Gene. And I thought there was 0 chance we were going to get this cat, because it was in this local pet store, right? all this stuff. And there was this white cat hanging out in there all the time. And it was like a freaking dog. You would go in there and it would come over and chase you around and play, and it had zero cares about dogs. And then, come to find out it had feline leukemia, so it was going to die. And my daughters were like, hey, we should donate Gene. And I was like, or adopt Gene. And I was like, look, if we can bring the other dogs over here and see how they do with that cat, then okay. I'm like, there's zero chance this is going to work out fine. Little did I know that Jean lived with pit bulls, and she ran the house. And so when I brought my dogs over one at a time, she put them in place like this. And I was like, what? I was fascinated. With the little terrier dog, she was a little shit. She wanted to eat everything. And she went over and like laid down next to the cat. And I was like, and then we brought, our Belgian Malinois over there, and same thing. And I was like, there's no way. And I was like, shit, all right, we bring that cat home. I'm not bullshitting you. Bring it in. 3 minutes. The smallest dog we had in our house was like the little ringleader. She was vicious, and then that cat is walking through towards the kitchen. Literally did not care that there was any dogs in there, how many people, automatically came in and this is my house. And that dog goes over and tries to smell her butthole. And that cat turns around, stands up on her hind legs, and is running her. And I was like, holy shit. And after that, every one of our dogs was scared shitless of her. And she automatically, within probably 10 minutes of being in this house, ran our house. And it was like, this cat was boss as shit. And it was cool, and it loved people. So like, if I was working right here, and she was still here, she would literally go be like this, and then lay down on the keyboard. My computer would go crazy because she's like, "You're petting me now. This is what's happening." Yeah. And so that got me like, okay, this cat's cool. So we had T-Mobile, and I was overseas, and you can text and all that shit. And of course, I had my phone in my pocket because guys take their computers or their calculators. And I'm literally like, we did an infill, and I'm sitting there on ICS, and, I always tell stupid stories and shit. I've always been a good storyteller. And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking about this Gene. I get this text message, and it was from my wife, and she's like, hey, Gene died. And I was like, what? And that's how I found out that the cat died, literally. I was like, holy shit, I was just telling a Gene. She's like, yeah, I woke up, she was dead on the floor. But after that, then now the girls, are cat people. So now next thing we get a replacement cat, and then this one wants this cat, and whatever. But cats.
Yeah, we had cats growing up.
I did not. I never had a cat.
We had one cat. His name was Bo Cephas.
Bo Cephas?
Yeah, Bo Cephas. He was pretty cool. Coolest cat we ever had. We also had another one. My gram did. And when we moved into her house and she moved out, the house burned down and the cat was inside. The cat's name was Coco. And I just remember the hot cocoa joke after the house burned down. I was like, oh, there's hot cocoa.
Man.
Yeah. Like that's, and if people want to hear kind of more of that story, you can listen to episode 3, which is Tyler's story. And it is
pretty lame.
Yeah. There's some, it was not easy. I mean, the whole house burning down part. And
did we even talk about that?
Or was that your brother was talking about that?
No, I think that was.
Did you talk about how your brother almost died
in the water? No, that was on the Flow State one.
Oh, okay.
That's
a Flow State also. Anymore. Oh, yeah. God, that was so good.
Yeah,
we got to get Jimbo on here.
Yeah, he's being such a fucking pussy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Danny, so you're out of the Army, you're trying to find purpose, and you did the mortgage thing. When did it click for you that mortgage? Because like to me, mortgages don't interest me at all. Like I'm not a numbers guy.
Yeah,
how did you make that connection that like you can actually? Because my wife, when I told her about you doing it, she immediately said, just the other day, she was like, dude, that's perfect for you. Like, you could help so many people. I'm like, how the fuck am I helping people? Like, they're just buying a house. She's like,
So
no, you're a good dude. Like, they'll,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm going to tell you exactly how. And I say this. If you know how to maximize somebody's VA loan, okay, and you can help them and guide them through the process, and then you don't, and they blind pick off of the internet and they get railroaded, aren't you an asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you buy your house, Tyler, with a VA loan? The one you're in now?
I did. And I used Marco.
Oh, God, you piece of shit. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Is Marco like a competitor to you? Are you guys...
but I mean, I've been, here's the problem. Like, so he started hyper local.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started out. So I realized for me, joining the business whenever I did, for me, I needed to be able to support my network, and my network is not Savannah local.
Yeah, they all move. People move around in the veteran
so
community.
I needed to be able to be in a position to be able to support people that are PCSing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it took, one company to learn. So I started here locally, and then I switched to a national company where I learned a ton, but it wasn't quite ready for VA loans to be super competitive.
Yeah.
And then along that way, I connected with a guy named Patton Gade, who's one of the top VA guys in the United States. And
what's his name? Patton
Gade.
Gade.
Yep. You should cyber stalk him. He's one of the top VA guys in the United States. And
I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah. And so I met him.
Wow. He's a first hit that comes up.
Yeah, he's legit. And so I met him whenever I was trying to connect with a realtor up in North Carolina when I was getting my North Carolina license. In fact, that's whenever you introduced me to your dad.
Yeah, yeah.
Same time frame. And I have a system where I can look and see who people's work, using and stuff like that. And I see this guy, Patton Gade, and it's like June or July. It's like halfway through the year. And it shows how many loans they did. And he was like, seriously, I think it was like 224. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, hey, who is this Patton Gade guy? And she's like, oh, he was a West Point dude. He's one of the top dudes in the United States. I'm like, yeah, but she's like, you should totally reach out to him. Like, he'll talk to you. I was like, what? So like the next morning, I wake up early. So I'm having coffee in the dark, in the kitchen, on the couch. I grab my phone. I look him up on LinkedIn and I shoot him connect. And at that time, I realized that's about the time that we talked about this. Like, hey, look, you can get that purpose again because now you're taking care of soldiers. It's counseling. It's all of that stuff. And I'm like, I realized that I can now give people another formation to get into of like-minded individuals. And if you have retirement and disability, that makes you, you're kind of dangerous because if you don't make anything this month, you're probably going to be okay if if your lifestyle isn't exuberant.
Yeah.
And if you go into this and not about business, not about money, you can literally just be a good human and your business should be able to take off. And that's what I was doing. Well, I started to recruit guys and building a team, many names that you probably would know. And we connected. So I shot him a connect and I'm like, hey, Patton, this is Danny. Like, hey, I was introduced to you by so-and-so. I'm like, I'm fascinated. I have no idea. Like, because to me, process-wise, I'm getting crushed by, at that point, like 2-3 loans a month was eating my lunch.
Right.
And I'm like, how in the hell are you doing, 30 loans a month? Right? Like, what processes, like, is this AI driven? Are you even talking to people? Like, and so, but anyways, I'm just like, hey, I would love to chat. Like I'm a retired and disabled veteran. I'm recruiting a team of retired disabled veterans, but I'm fascinated by your processes. Send. Immediately reply. Get a coffee. Let's get on the phone. Like, holy shit. So we get on the phone and we talk for an hour and 40 minutes and totally jive. And he's like, are you looking to pivot? I was like, no, man. I'm just kind of getting my footing. Like, I like where I'm going there. I feel good. Honestly, I just would love to stay in contact and just pick your ears, like on stuff. Well, that kind of continued for 6 months. And then in December, like pricing was really tough. And I was like, shit. And I reached out to him like, dude, I need you to price some loans for me because I might just flip you all these people. And he's like, what? And so he prices and he's like, well, how much money are you going to make in this? I wasn't going to make anything. I'm giving it all away to try to get them the best rate possible. He's like, so you're killing yourself and you're not making any money and you're not giving the best rates. I'm like, yeah. He's like, so what are you doing? He's like, join my team. I was like, I mean, I've only been in the business not even at that point, it was a year and a half. I'm like, I didn't think that was possible. He's like, it's always been possible. I just didn't ask. I want you to feel ready. And I'm like, well, I got guys on my team that are coming. I can't leave them now. He's like, no, I want all of you. I was like, oh shit, really? And so it went like that. Next day on a call with him, his wife, and the CEO, and said yes. I couldn't move any loans because they were under contract, and so legality would have gotten sued. And so I stayed there until everybody was closed, and then moved. And it's now we can support 48 states. It's everything that we ever wanted. So my whole goal ever was build a network of guys across the United States connected with veteran-friendly or veteran-type realtors, so that if anybody ever moves, they never have to do a blind pick off of the internet. They always go with a known entity that's going to protect them like family and protect their dollars. And that's it. And so the whole business mantra is be a good human, coach, teach, mentor. Done. That's it.
Yeah. I've always wondered this. My dad actually did mortgages for a little bit, but what's like a day in the life of a mortgage originator? I know that sounds corny, but are you like just are you talking to people, or are you filling out a spreadsheet or something, or what are you doing? Because the loan apps suck.
But so what do I do is, I have realtors that I have people, I have a whole spreadsheet of people that are in the process of doing a loan application or have inquired, but they're doing some credit, or they're people that are under contract, and then realtors that I'm working with. And now that because my network is getting really wide, I could make phone calls all day long, every day, in every time zone, and I could work and there would still be more to do. So that's where it gets kind of a little overwhelming with this kind of reach, because, now I've got realtors in Hawaii that I just connected with, out to the West Coast, all the way through the East Coast. And I've got soldiers overseas that are deployed that I'm working with. So I'm working multiple time zones. For me, I like to use Tyler because his picture is really clear on this for some reason. Tyler is in Poland and wants to buy a house. However we connect, I shoot him a text message, my digital business card, set up a time for us to have a conversation, and I normally send them one of my social media links that I want them to watch. And you're like, why? Why are you sending them a social media thing? Because I want them to see my face and I want them to hear my voice. And the reel that I sent them probably super pertains to their situation. And then whenever we get on the phone, I'm more of a human now. Because again, I have no agenda other than to take care of them. And we do a really good interview. And I'm like, Tyler, what are you trying to do? I'm like, okay. And so I'm just kind of like taking mental notes. Okay. And then I'm setting up like this mental chessboard with some kind of questions to check certain boxes. And then I come up and then I'm like, I already know exactly how to do this. It's literally mission planning. It's literally all it is. That's why you would love this, because here they are and here's where they want to be, and you got to get them there. What's the route? And then so,
right.
Income, credit, funds on hand. What are the limitations? What's the time frame? Do you have a realtor? And then guess what? If they don't have a realtor, I'm connecting and I'm fortifying my network again. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's just that whole system right there. Now multitudes You know, for you to close, say, 5 to 7 loans a month, you probably have to talk to 20 to 30 people.
Okay.
Because it's a lot, because not everybody's super clean with credit, have the funds, some sort of job problem or transition, some hurdle that has to be done. So
yeah,
it's a lot of coaching.
Yeah, I've always been kind of interested, as a little bit of the entrepreneurial mindset. I'm not working right now by choice, but my wife and I were talking about your whole barn dominium thing a while back got us kind of like interested in the barn dominiums, which some of those are pretty badass. If you just search barn dominium on like whatever social media you use, it'll blow your mind how cool these places are. And we were like, oh, I wonder if we could, because she was in the Army too, and she has a VA loan. And I don't think you can get a VA loan for land. You can get it for the house with the land, but you can't. Can you just do straight land?
No.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can roll the land into the purchase, and you can do a one-time close program to include.
Oh, like so you can do the barn dominium and the land at the same time? Yep. Oh shit, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to call you about that later. But
I do it. This is welcome to Knowledge Bombs for free.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What's your did you buy stocks when the stock market crashed the other day?
No.
Do you do stocks?
I don't do any of that shit. No.
I don't either. Did you buy? Did you do any?
I didn't, just because I'm like, fuck it, But I had a buddy buy some NVIDIA when it was down, and the next day he's like, too. It went up 70%. Like, oh,
yeah,
like, fuck,
yeah.
dude.
I bought
every
it
time. I miss everything.
My wife texts me like it crashed, and then Trump was like, "It's a good time to buy," and then he said some kind of tweet, and she put some social media person. She texted me like a TikTok of this dude like, you should buy NVIDIA, and I was like, well, fucking, like I bought like 2 shares of NVIDIA.
Not enough to be a millionaire, but enough to realize that you fucked up and
I should have bought. I should have dumped like 10 grand in there, but I think I spent like $180 on 2 shares of it. But I think there you go. Did you hear about that guy in
that lineup?
Yeah, you gotta. Tyler, did you shave? Did you shave? Did you shave, Tyler?
Nah, bro. I haven't shaved in like, fuck, I don't even remember. I think since I moved down here.
This is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I trim it with like my ball trimmer.
That's healthy.
Yeah.
Have you seen those trimmers? They're actually made for manscaping. They won't like cut your taint or whatever. Have you seen those?
What you're talking about, Tyler?
Yeah, Manscaped. Yeah, that's what I use. This podcast is sponsored by Manscaped.
Yeah, is it really called Manscaped?
Yeah.
Is that what the brand is?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm like so out of it.
Is it weird that I use the same one for my nuts that I do for my face?
Dude,
I mean, it's part of your body.
With your razor that's left, like I cannot stand. Granted, I don't shave a ton, but I have my razor and my little shave kit over here. And then whenever I do shave, and then I grab it, and I'm like, well, where the hell's my and then it's in the shower.
What your wife grabbed it?
What? Poor daughter. Savages.
Yeah, my...
Like, I put that on my face, like...
Oh, yeah, my son does that. Like,
he uses
he grabbed the one I trim my beard with and tried to trim his pubes or something, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? What do you think? And he's like, dude, I just needed it, Dad. And I'm like, now I gotta fucking disinfect this thing.
For what?
Like,
the hair on your head is the same length. What have you been using it for?
Yeah. Remember when you had a high and tight, Danny? Do you remember that? Like,
but you mean way back in the day?
Well, like you still had like a kind of a high and tight, like when you had hair on top of your head. It was like
the problem was because I didn't have enough hair.
Yeah,
so I would just fade it up the side.
Oh yeah, because it was it was Ranger style.
Well, here was the problem:
90s Ranger style.
Yeah, guess what? Whenever, like these new Rangers nowadays with their freaking hair full of like moose and all kind of shit. Like
that tripped me out. While I was in Afghanistan in 2014 and with the ETF, and some Rangers came out to do some fun fact. Story time. You know the singer John Cougar Mellencamp?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
His nephew is a he's not a combat controller. I think he's a TAC P assigned to the Rangers, or was back then. He walks up and he's got Mellencamp on his shirt, and I'm like, little ditty about Jack and Diane. And he was like,
oh, it's my uncle, man.
He's like, I was like, you related to John Cougar Mellencamp? He's like, yeah, that's my uncle. And I'm like, no shit. And he's like, yeah, dude, he's legitimately my uncle. And
he's probably so fucking sick of hearing that shit too.
Yeah, he pulled out a cell phone and showing me pictures of him, and we went out and did some like fries, like elevators there at Kandahar. And anyways, cool guy. But the other Rangers he was with all had they've all got like Merrills on, long hair, gelled up. They look like somewhere, south of Navy SEALs and north of SF guys. Like, I was like, you guys in the Ranger Battalion? It's like, this is not the 90s Ranger Battalion at all. Like, dude, what is going on?
Fucking hate in Copenhagen back then.
Yeah.
Like, you had four-finger high and tight or bald. That was it.
I remember when I was at airborne school, I was supposed to go to I was supposed to have it was called a RIP back then. Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to have a Ranger contract, and it got screwed up. So when I was at 30th AG or whatever, they're like, look, you're not going to Rangers. You can apply when you get to your unit. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I remember walking out of airborne school and like a 5-ton or a deuce and a half or something pulled up, and all the dudes that were going to Ranger Battalion had their duffel bags lined up, and this like E6 got out and just started smoking the shit out of him. And I was scared to like walk by where they were walking because I didn't want to get roped into what they were. I was like, so I just kind of like hid in the barracks until like, and then they loaded up all their duffel bags in the truck.
Drove away, right?
Yeah, and then they drove away, and they were all there, and then they ran behind the truck.
Yeah, I'd have
like
me
all the way back. Like, they're in formation, but they were running.
Dude, they drove off so fast, so we were just sprinting like assholes the whole way all the way up to the compound.
Yeah, I remember they ran off, and I was like, man, shit. Me and this other guy were like, shit, man, we dodged a bullet. Like,
dude, that was so fun though. Like I was straight out of like playing ball in college. I was like, I was an athlete, so I was ready for it. Like, I didn't have any idea what it was, but I knew I wanted it. And then, it was, like Jeff Strucker was my RIP instructor. Like, after just winning Best Ranger, post Somalia and all that shit, and it was a hoot. Like, what a cool way to. You have an identity crisis. You like, and it was interesting, dude. You would have every walk of life. You had dudes that were like attorneys that just all of a sudden are like, I can't do this. I need to go do something. And they would go and they would join a Ranger Battalion. I had a millionaire in my squad.
Pat Tillman.
Yeah, Pat Tillman. I totally get it, right? Like, and then honestly, for me, what caused me to switch was we had so many near deployments.
Right.
Like, hey, pager goes. It was back then we had pagers, and I was at 275, so we'd be like Seattle Underground. Oh my God, so like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and like bars, before they were huge. And, which was back in, those the Romper Stomper days. Like, during the grunge, like, bullshit t-shirt on, flannel shirt, freaking black Doc Martens, and go down there and mosh pit, clean the pit, like, just fuck people up. And then your pager would go off, and you're like, oh shit. And we'd have to call and like, hey, and whatever the alert was. And sometimes you had to drive back, and then you're running, and you had no idea if you're going to war or not. You have no idea. Just like, this is the code. You got to get back. You got 30 minutes. You're like, fuck. Hook and then go. And then sometimes you would roll in, and it's a piss test. But I got all my go to war shit on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, seriously, a piss test? And then we did like a rehearsal at Fort Campbell with the entire Ranger Regiment for just another thing. And it sounded like it was going to happen. And then they shut us off. And then what got me to revert or go to OCS, and, like, finally, was I was in Jordan whenever the USS Cole got bombed. That's where I first met Mike Larson.
Oh, yeah, the Cole. That was in...
Yeah, it was 99, 2000
99,
time frame.
yeah. Yeah.
And so over there, and we stopped training. We went into planning. It looked like it was going to happen. I was the senior enlisted guy in my platoon, so there was a platoon of us, and we had 247s. They said if another, if another C5 lands and 2 more Chinooks come on, it's on. And the next morning, like holy shit! And so we're all ready to go, and a day and a half later, they're like, "Hey, go back to training." And so I was like, man.
Yeah.
So I was there with the 160th. So I went and did an interview with, Eric Peterson, actually. And Mike Rose, I think is his name, was the battalion commander. And Eric Peterson was General Peterson, our first RSOI commander.
Yeah.
1-star.
Yeah.
And got letters of recommendation, came back, did my OCS packet and flight aptitude test. And then put my OCS packet in and got aviation, and then went to flight school. And then guess what happened in OCS?
You had to wear those stupid shiny helmet things?
No.
September 11th?
September motherfucking 11th, and week of 12 or 14. I'm in the woods. Miles Halo, blank adapter, up getting a water MRE resupply, pulling security on a pine tree with my security element, and one of my small group leaders comes down and says, "Hey, a plane just hit one of the World Trade Center towers." What? That's weird. Like, huh? And then maybe 10 minutes later, she comes running back down. She's like, "Another plane just hit the other World Trade Center tower. Like, they're going down. Like, we're going to war." And they're like, Rangers and SF, they're all going. And I'm like, what? And I go and I talk to, my other small group leader. And I was like, "Hey, man, I got to get out of here." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I got to get out of here." He's like, "Listen." He's like, "You left for a reason." He's like, "I assure you that war is not going anywhere." He's like, "But it was an 11 Bravo, Victor 2, so it was an E6, Ranger qualified guy." He's like, "You think you're ever going to go to OCS and get aviation again?" He's like, "It'll never happen." He's like, "You left for a reason. You either play it out or you go, and it'll never happen again." So he's like, "You need to play the long game." And I was like, okay. So I did. Yeah. And then sure as shit, next thing you know, we're out of the field, live rounds, inspecting vehicles. Guess what? Just what I just did in Jordan. So teaching people how to, do the shit. And then I have to go back. I get my commission, so I'm second lieutenant. In Ranger Battalion back then, it was very segregated. Like, you either had your tab or you didn't. You were an officer enlisted, and you didn't really, there was no. So guess what? I come back as a lieutenant, and all my buddies, and they put my shit, because I was a squad leader at the time, they put all my stuff in like one of the privates rooms in the wall locker. And I come back, as a lieutenant, so I go into the room to get my shit for PT, because, like, I'm a second lieutenant, but I don't have a shit. Like, I'm just going back to my squad. To me, it's just my squad.
Yeah.
But I had given it to my Alpha team leader, Dave McDowell, and who was further later Camp McDowell in Kandahar. And so, I come in, they're like, "Oh, hey, Danny, what's up?" Like, "Oh, man, so happy for you. Congratulations." And then, like, at some point in the conversation, they would go, "Sir?" And it was just super weird, right? And I'm like, dude, like, it's Danny. I'm never going to fucking change. I don't give a shit about this. Well, now all the platoon leaders are like, "Oh, man, Danny, you're..." What's interesting is now what Colonel Brown, soon to be General Brown, he was a platoon leader in 1st Platoon. And I had, another guy, and so now he's a freaking general. And, it was interesting. Like, he was... Sorry, I'm all over the place, but it was just, it created, it created this weird, and I just went down to my first sergeant, who I was coached baseball with and stuff. I was like, "Hey, man, it's too weird. I worked too long and hard to go out," because we went to the range and they made me like the ammo guard. I handed up, I'm like, "I'm not doing this shit. Like, I'm gonna shoot the freaking pasty out of that thing from here. Like, I'm like, no." So I went back and I was just like, "Hey, I'm going to go home. I'm going to pack my shit up. I'm gone in 30 days. Let me know whenever you want to do like my PCS award kind of formation thing, I'm out. And then went then flight school, and then I put my packet in flight school and assessed right after graduating. Bullshitted DA so I could push my report date farther so I could go do my assessment and figure out. And that was back when it was, this was, let's see, April of 03 I assessed.
So you must have been in the flight school class like right in front of me.
Probably.
What color hats were you guys?
I think we were blue or brown.
Blue. Okay. Yeah, because I was red class. Was Ted Salter? Was a guy named Ted Salter in your class?
Were you anywhere near Mark Jackson?
He was
ahead of me.
He was. When did you graduate flight school?
Could we use dates? Would that help?
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Let's try dates.
Well, let's see. I reported to the regiment in June of 03. So I graduated right there and then left. And
you had to be right in front of me because you were if you were blue or brown, you were the one color cycle ahead of me, which is about a year because I was red class.
This is why I was so much better than you most of the time.
Yeah. I was red class. So I started primary in like March of 03, I think. So I was probably a year behind.
Back when we did the 21-hour AQC, you're a Blackhawk, dude.
Yeah, I went to Flight School 21. I skipped all that.
Yeah. I was probably one of the last AQCs then.
Yeah, well, only 6 guys out of our class went to Flight School 21. Everybody else went to AQC. So I was in that like changeover.
The test class or whatever.
Kids or whatever. But yeah, it's so crazy when you think about it too. All the that you went straight to the 160th, which it happens. I'd say it's very rare for officers. I've only known 2 guys to do it. You and Chris Lossing. I'm sure there's other ones, but not that I know of. And you'll see W1s every now and again, like guys like Ryan Grant. I don't know if Rob Stewart went. Anyways, doesn't matter. But when you're during your time when you were getting out, when you're going back to that, talking about the emotional, did you when did that stuff bubble up as because you think when you're getting out they say, oh, hey, you need to be prepared to not be in the Army anymore, and in my head I'm like, oh, 6 months, that'll do it, like that's probably good enough. 6 months, like when did all that stuff start coming to the surface for you, or did it ever come to the surface?
So it was interesting because going through the medical board process put me on the bench. So I wasn't like in the line rotating. Now I'm out and I'm gone. And the regiment, honestly, we fucked that up for years and years and years. There were many times for a long time, guys would go, and then they would do either a 60 or a 90-day deployment so they could eat one more tour before they retired.
I remember guys like going like weeks before they were going to retire.
That's right. No, and seriously, and then guess what? And then imagine that you're in this like mental fight.
Jeff Simons is one of those guys that did that.
And then guess what? You do a pull, and then all of a sudden, and then you just like, and we did a scene in the horse video that we just shot, and it's actually not going to be in the big video, but I made it as a post, and it was all about the separation. And so, because how I try to describe that is like separating from the military is like you're running through these or towards these like double doors that are retirement. And whenever you get through those doors in your mind, it's just going to be just all this shit. I'm not going to listen to nobody, do whatever I want. Like, it's going to be amazing. And then what we did was, as I'm going towards this door and I bust through it, there's this big whiteout from like the sun, which was actually perfect cinematically or cinematographically.
I think that's right.
Cinematography. Cinematically.
Jesus, we could just for the next hour we could fuck with that word. So, you bust out, and then all of a sudden, and then we transition, and we're on the 50-yard line of the Georgia Southern football stadium. But all you see is you're in an empty stadium as the sun's going down, and you're all by yourself. And I'm looking around, and I'm just like with this like crazy pause, like puzzled look at my face, and then I slowly just turn around like this, and I'm looking at the camera as it just like goes. Like that's what getting out is like, because all of a sudden you don't have anybody to your left or to your right. Everything that drove your every action of every day, all in preparation for war, is now gone. Like the people and like, you don't have any people to bitch to, right? And you don't have this like checklist of shit that you drove you crazy, but now you don't have a checklist at all. You don't have anything. And dude, that's where people's minds. And then guess what? You go to the dark spot. You go to some sort of chemical dependency, some sort of like, because you don't know what to do, so you just try to numb it. And then that's where dudes start clacking themselves off. And that I recognized pretty quickly that I could be in a really dark place pretty quickly. Because guess what? Do you know me to do anything halfway? Have you ever drank with me and then saw combatives happen? Right?
Yes.
Right? Like it doesn't matter if I'm doing something, I'm 140%. You want to slap box, I'm going to fucking knock you out. Because I don't like I just don't. I don't.
Remember you were the MC of the 35th anniversary?
Yeah.
I'm drunk. Anyways, good times.
Well, but that was another one. Like I'm like, oh, it was God, what was it? Sean Merritt? Or I think Merritt was.
Merritt would have been the
XO, maybe.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Hey, man, you should somebody was like, hey, you should be the MC." I was like, I think I'm kind of banned from that because everybody loved the fundraiser, but at the same, because it was the best one ever. Never raised as much money ever in the world in the history of the regiment. Right here, this guy. And I was like, okay. I'm like, no, we want to have a good time. I'm like, all right, I'll do it, dude. What was funny is I needed my reading glasses, and I didn't wear them. And so I made the print really big on my, like, the stuff, but it had this clear, they put it into little plastic slider things.
Yeah.
And the lights, the angle.
Were like reflecting off of it? I
couldn't see any of it. So, and then, instead of having water up there, I had like, super cheap vodka. A bottle like this. So when we were doing the toasts, I was like, oh shit, I only have vodka, and I'm like, and we're just, and every time I'm just hitting it. And I'm like, I can feel my face warming up. I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. I remember just being my speech, and I'll just look through. It was like 2,500 people there.
Yeah,
I remember just looking out, and I'll just see a face. And I would just do a shout.
Yeah, then you would be like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" Because my wife is like, "Is he okay? Should we get him?" Okay. I'm like, "No, that's how it's just him."
You said have a good time, and I'm all in.
Yeah. So, but yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm sorry, I was going to take it back. But did you, while you were in, did you ever struggle with anything? Did you ever have a hard time managing? You say you're throwing your emotions to the back, you're stuffing them way down, you're putting in that box, and you're locking it. Did it ever affect you while you were in, or did all that shit just kind of rush to you when you came out?
I mean, so were you gone whenever Bitter Bandit happened?
I left in 2000.
Okay, so it was August of 2019.
Yep.
So for some reason, I became that guy overseas that things could be totally slow, weather, whatever, and then I roll in and everything goes kinetic. And I started to get in. I started to be the shootout guy. And, 2019, like that was are you familiar with like Ryan Davis with 175? He lost both legs and an arm on that mission.
I'm not.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was already gone.
You guys had already quit by then, so that's cool.
Definitely.
So
this Night Stalker quits.
Just took a break.
Yeah.
So that was on my aircraft, like a daylight high at exfil, total shit show. Straight to the X, 2.5 minutes in the HLZ, 60 feet from the building, everybody shooting. Watched an RPG get shot at us, and it hits a tree limb and a tree limb like back about 100 feet maybe from us, and then blows up. Like everybody shooting. This is the one time where I'm like, dude, I should be shooting my 9mm out the window.
Yeah.
But we're so close, and we went in as a flight of 3, and then one aircraft was over here, was in and out in like 20 seconds. And they didn't take enough people. Like everybody was supposed to get 21, they left with 14. I'm like, oh shit, okay. As everybody's shooting, and I'm like, I had to do this. So I used to do this thing called
the Wells maneuver?
But I would call it the archer approach, which is where you're doing a dust landing, but then you kick it sideways so you can lead in with the guns and then side flare it and put it down. I did that in training just to fuck around because I thought it'd be badass. Well, guess what? This mission, we're coming off this mountain, dumping gas, and the target building, or the one building, it's a side of a village, but the building where all the like shitheads are right off the nose. And I'm like, holy shit. I got it. So I called it Sex Panther, right? Like we're gonna. So I do this debrief en route, in the HLZ, because I'm like, hey, look, guys, like we're coming in. That this building's right off the nose, so I'm gonna have to slide in Sex Panther wise. So I was flying with Casey Tom. I'm like, you're in the right. He's in the right seat. I'm like, you're gonna fly the approach all the way in, start the flare. I'm gonna dump to the last second because we had plussed up on so much gas that now wasn't a power problem. So I'm dumping. I'm like, you start the flare, I'll kick off, then I'll come on the controls, and then I'll put it nose right, tail left. We'll fly it in sideways. Guns, you match that building. I'll flare, and I'll slap it down, and we can get going. And they're like, roger that. And so we did. And dude, it was pretty cool because I can't tell you how many times out, at the range, but I would just do it just to, like, this would be, really cool. Like out there, what was that dust range out at Stewart?
Oh,
Taro? Or no, not Taro.
No,
whatever. That
the little dirt strip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God,
exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
Fort Stewart. Let's call it Fort Stewart.
It was dusty and do that. Well, anyway, so we come off of this mountain and I do that and slide in. Remagen. And we were there for probably, I think it was just shy of 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the HLZ.
That's a fucking long time.
Dude. And I mean, everybody's shooting. Like,
yeah, that's a big target.
We've got every Rangers, like, the Afghani people that we had, like all that out the windows. And then, I'm just like, you just hear it. We're like, how we doing, boys? We're like, unloading ground force, and we're like, all right. So then left gun jams. I'm like, I call the other dude to get over there, and they're cycling through the windows, doing mag changes and all that shit. And then finally, and then the other aircraft is next to us, and we're in dust. And he's like, hey, are you guys still on the ground? I'm like, yeah, we're still unloading. You're just going to have to wait. Sorry. And then finally we get like after ready, forward ready. And then all right, coming up. And I told Casey, I'm like, you pull, and I'm going to be your stop. And we're going to go straight to 99 because we're going to be heavy. And at this point, we were shooting so much. They had both of our guys on the ramp on the other side shooting. And then they were doing the count. But at some point, whenever it transitioned, the count got jacked. Nobody knew. But everybody was gone. And it was like 2 aircraft like this. Sorry, but separated a bit. And this was my aircraft with the building right here. And everybody was running to get out of the area. Well, we know it's clear. So they're just like, after ready, forward ready. I'm like, we pull up, climb up, we're heavy aircraft, boom, and like we have to get over these buildings, and then we start to go, and now I'm monitoring. I've got them stopped, and we're still good. We're not over torquing or anything, and we kind of crankbait a little bit. I'm like, well, easy, because I don't want to get like this. So we fixed the pitch, and I've got lead off the horizon, and I'm like, all right, okay, good. All right, you got the controls. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do some hand jamming real quick, just update the flight plan and shit like that. And then as we start to accelerate, it starts this shit. Oof. I'm like, ooh, what? Fuck, like, hey, really? I got the controls. So here, release the parking brake. Like, guys, how's the maintenance panel back there? Because now I have to assume that we've probably taken some rounds. I haven't. Like, it seems impossible that haven't been shot.
Right.
And now I can only get to 83 knots. And at 83 knots, the probe is bouncing. It starts like this, and then it's and it's like somebody has this chair, and they're being an asshole, and they're going right, shaking me, and I'm like, shit. So I have to back it off, and the sweet spot was 83 knots. We're at about 100 feet. And
miserable.
they're, still trying, and I'm like, I have no idea, right? Parking brakes released, maintenance panel looks good, systems look good. I'm like, you know what, we're flying. So I call up to lead. I'm like, hey man, I got a crazy vibration, but we're flying. He's like, do you want to put it down? I'm like, we've got this whole area pissed. Like, that's probably not a good situation. Like, I'm flying, let's just go. But we got to get over 2 mountain lines. And I'm like, we'll be fine. And so I'm flying, we're picking up, and I'm right there. So I'm flying towards, and now I got to get over. And this, by the way, the HLZ was like 8,600 feet. And so we got to get, just over 10 plus. And so and I'm still like, hey guys, how's the count back there? Because, we got PZ clean, all the sensors are like, everything's gone, but our count's still jacked. And Casey, he needed to call back and say what the count was. So like, sorry, sir, I got all jacked up. Like, we're hashing it out right now. I'm like, all right, so I'm flying and I'm dealing with this, bouncing, and we start crawling up this spur, going up towards the top of this mountain. And the sun is now coming up. So my goggles are up, everything's switched. The sun rises right on the top of the mountain. So I can't see shit. So I'm flying completely and I can feel my collective is getting pretty deep, and I can see like, God, we don't have a lot left. And we get just to the top of it, and they're like, hey sir, we're 34 plus 2. And I'm like, holy crap. Because now I know we don't have the power to do an end of ground landing. I can't hover, like right now at this point in my current fuel state, I can't hover and land. I have to do a roll-on landing. And we get to the top, and it's like this bowl. And it's craggle rock everywhere, nowhere to land. And there's a spur going up to a rock cliff and a saddle. And at that point, we were ACP tags. So our air control point tag, which was the spot up on the saddle, was the altitude. And it was 10,000. Okay. It was 10,500 feet. And I was at about 9,600 at this point. And I start to pull power, and I'm trying to get that, I'm flying flight path vector and trying to put it on the top, and I've got it, and I've got the angle, and we're going. But then all of a sudden, the probe bounce probably got 1.5 feet, I bet. And they said that the aircraft was rippling like this, and
That's disgusting.
You could see the aircraft contorting on the outside. And they said, you remember that ground resonance video from like flight school where the Chinook chews
Chinook's tied down,
and does that? They said that's what it looked like. And they're like, holy shit, we're gonna watch them like. And I have this moment where there's like a cliff, and then it's this draw to the saddle, and I can see where we're not going to make it. And I don't know if I have enough time to go left. And I'm looking, and I'm making this quick decision real quick. And I'm like, I have this like crazy, like, if we go up here, we all die as heroes and we can make a left. But I might hit the blades on this rock cliff off the nose. And I'm like, coming left. And I can't go steep because if I get into a descent, I can't stop. And now we're in this bowl, right? And I have to get over the edge. And I start this, and I'm literally just like angling it just enough to keep my altitude up. But, and I'm watching the blade tips as this like rock cliff is just like coming like this. And it's just going by and getting closer and closer. Like, dude, it was, and you're just like, oh, and then I'm just waiting for the mesh of the blades and then all of a sudden, totally made it. And so now we're going the opposite direction, and I'm like, Casey, you got to find us another way around the mountain. So I call the other guys. I'm like, hey, we didn't make it over the mountain. We got to go a different way. And there was this whole area on the other side of the mountains. It was like a 5-mile area. You probably remember down Fob Dalkey area, Shankish, to the west, where you couldn't fly because everybody would shoot at you. And we had to fly right through the middle of it at 100 to 150 feet. And so we found our way around off the saddle, dropped off through, and then it was that no man's land. And like assets overhead, like, hey, they know you're coming, helicopter ambush, everybody ready, it's daylight. And I'm riding. And I'm like, all right. And the aircraft with me is like, hey, man, can you go any faster? I'm like, no, dude, I'm sorry. I'm like, you just got to freaking grin and bear it for a bit. And so little did I know that they were flying welded. I have to only assume this, because if I was in Chalk 2, I would be free cruise, yanking and banking, just being a small target. And so we're going, and now it's like, and the whole time I'm just waiting for the cockpit to just, erupt. Because, you can't, the only time you're getting hit in the daytime is if you're taking effective fire, because you can't see the muzzle flash. And so, we're going along, and now I can start seeing, it's coming. Like, I'm like, holy shit, like, I can see it. Like, we might make it. This is crazy, right? And so I've got all these decisions that are just like, I remember Doc, as we're in all this, and he's trying to like give me the information for the 911. I'm like, Doc, not right now. Shut the fuck up. Like we gotta. He's like, oh shit, okay. And so now we're flying this area, and then it's just getting closer and closer. I'm like, holy crap, this is like the first time that I think like, yeah, we might make it. And then now it's like I'm heavy enough. I need to do a roll-on landing, but that's so much time. And meanwhile, Ryan's in the back, and they're just dumping blood into him and just trying to keep him bleeding because he's not doing great. And I'm like, I got to get it there to the med place as quick as possible. So if you remember going into that place, it sloped down, and then it sloped up, and then you had those gates. Then you have to do that hard left, hard right, and then that was the med. Then you had to do the button hook around to the FARP. And I'm like, I'm going to use that upslope, and I'm going to use aerodynamic cushioning, and I'm going to put enough power in, and we're going to do a controlled crash right there. And I'm, in my mind, I'm like, the aerodynamic cushioning should cushion us enough that we should be able to land nice, nose down, nose left, nose right, done. And it fucking, like a charm. I just got out there, set up got the riding that D-cell like this, and just circle of action right on that upslope, and shot it, just eased in the power at the very end, and power steering, nose left, nose right, brakes, stop. And then I'm like, hey, we're going to go up private up here. They're like, roger that. Because now they're like making a call, like every, able body, come give blood, like whatever. And they got to get everybody off. I'm like, hey, we're going up private up here. And I go, and I look over at Casey. I'm like, dude, what the fuck just happened? Like, what the fuck? Like we were literally just talking about going to get, because here's what happened. We were the QRF people. They went in with 3. They went in super light to get everybody out with 3 aircraft and have power and get back. And then troops in contact. The situation with Ryan happened. They put them in a hold, which ate into their exfil gas. And then they had to go into a ground logger until eventually they just didn't have enough money enough gas to do it. We pushed forward, got gas at the FARP, plussed up by like 2,000 pounds, and then they asked for the swap. And so now, that's where the power issue and everything else, and I couldn't dump fast enough. And anyways, I don't know. Story time is this? Are we good on time?
No, I mean, we're good, man. What was wrong with the aircraft?
Well, so whenever we went up private, and then we went and got gas, and then they were like, "Hey, pack up. We'll get the QRF and head back." I'm like, "No, dude, I ain't got to shut down. I gotta check this aircraft out. I don't know." And then we stopped. Before we shut down, we put in the computer how many people we had on, and and it said 106 required, 90 available. We had a power deficit of 16, and we didn't over torque.
Oh, holy shit!
And so, come to find out later, what we found out was we were having compressibility because we were so heavy. And because we'll talk aerodynamics, but what is it? Phase lag, gyroscopic perception, phase lag, it manifests 90 degrees later.
Yeah, that's what was giving you the bump.
So it was because it was hitting here at the left side, and it was manifesting 90 degrees at the aft, and it was causing the ass to fall out. Crazy. Dude. Yeah. Well, anyways, so you ask about after that was, we did one more big mission after that, and then I had the voice that was like, you don't have any more.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when you called me and said, hey, what did you do? And we kind of had a quick talk, and
and so then guess what? I was behavioral health. And it wasn't like I was, crying or any of this stupid shit. It was just like, I don't know how to process it.
Right.
I feel pretty good. And I will tell you, I talked for the longest time, and I didn't talk about me forever. In fact, I still see behavioral health, not behavioral health there, but another person.
Yeah, like a civilian.
And it was probably 2 months ago that I finally started to talk about me. So do I have it figured out, Tyler? And have I ever figured it out? No. I started the horse program to passively get help while helping other people.
Yeah. Well, that's what this podcast was. That's what this podcast is I started it passively to get help for me, and under the auspice, is that the right word? Auspice? Guise, maybe, of helping other people. And then Tyler came on, and Tyler's episode 3, which is still the number 2 performing episode out there, was
make it number 1. We got to beat Doug.
Yeah, we got to beat Doug, or you got to beat Doug. But that one resonated with a lot of people, and it's. We've done, this will be 39, right? 39.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the same story. Every person. It doesn't matter if you saw combat or you didn't see combat. It's the same. It's almost like if I did this a little bit longer, I could probably write like an algorithm that will predict the things you're going to deal with. And the sad part is the nobody in the active duty knows how to deal with it because they haven't dealt with it yet. And so, and then
you don't think you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, you don't.
You think, I was like, I'm good, dude. I don't care. I'm good. I'm good. What?
And you see it's different for guys that are that did 3 years and got out. And some of those guys, the people that commit fully to the persona of a soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine, whatever that identity is, I think is especially harder with guys that kind of have 2 roles, like soldier, pilot. You have a double layer of fucked upness that you're going to have to get over when you get out, and that takes a long time. I've been retired for 6 years, and I kind of just started this maybe a year ago, trying to figure out who I was before I was in the Army. Who was, I don't even remember that person,
I was just dipshit. But here's how I have rationalized all of it. It's much like working out, taking pain medication, whatever. You're never going to just flip the switch off and it's gone. I think it's always going to be there in some capacity. You're going to have to figure out a way to manage and deal with it.
Yeah,
well, continuously. It's time now to you didn't have the tools and you didn't really possess the tools while you're in, because your other tools were so much more useful, right?
That's right.
I've got work to do. I got people to take care of. I have something fuck whatever I have going on. It's not important today. We got to get this thing done. But it's when you get out is you give away your tool set when you leave, and then you have to find out, you got to find a whole other fucking toolkit to deal with everything. And it's not awful. One thing. Yeah. No. It's a ton of different things.
It is. But I will, this is the one thing that I tell people. I don't care the skills that you learned functioning and operating, and not specifically just in special operations, but that's what I know. I never did big Army time. But all of those things and dealing and managing all of those elements, right? All those levels of chaos and stuff are not replicatable in the civilian sector.
Yeah.
Which means I want 100 of us versus 5,000 of them. And please, if you're a non whatever and you're listening to this, don't take offense to this, but like, I know if I give Thad or Tyler a task, you will get it done. As long as it's not be on time in your tuxedo for a highly formal function.
Is this a specific event? Are you referring to something specifically?
Aside from that.
Well, that wasn't your fault though, right, Tyler?
Yes, it was. They were all fucking off.
Well, if you really want to get to it, it was Danny's fault for making the connection, for putting me in that situation.
Right. I put you in another country. I did.
Oh, that's right. You introduced them to
Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Quintanilla. That's right. Good. So me and Pete were in 275 together.
So this was the Catamaran Yomp.
You said it right this time. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Catamaran.
But to loop back to what I was saying is the whole point is that those skills are not easily replicatable in any situation in the civilian sector because people are dying. Like, having to make those instant like decisions that are immediate with how do you replicate that on the outside? So now you're going to tell me I can't manage a team of 6 and these products or whatever it is, like. So, for me, that's why I like mortgage so much, because it's just enough chaos and I get to do the same level of type mentorship. But yeah, dude, seriously, like anybody getting out, I tell them, like, don't worry about it. You can do any job. Like anybody that doesn't recognize that capability is an idiot, because you don't know, fail. You get the job done. It might not be all legal. It might not be all like to the way it's supposed to be, but the end product will be immaculate.
Yeah, and I think there's something to say too for you have to know when somebody's taking advantage of you and when they're not and maybe this only applies in a corporate setting, but there becomes a point where you give so much, like we're used to giving 120% to the unit doing a mission that has a real consequence. In the corporate role, or soldiers and military folks often mistake that in a corporate world where they give 120% to the corporation, and the corporation is going to F you in the A as soon as possible. Like, and Tyler and I, like today, remember that thing I text you? Like, we know a guy, great dude, love him. And he continues to do this thing for the company, but the company's actively about to F him in the A very soon. And like, he's known it's coming for a long time. And maybe that speaks to his character, that he's not going to go dirty to them and treat them how they're treating him, but
because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah. And I just say, like, look, there's going to be a point when, especially if you work in the corporate world, that they will drop you like a hot rock, and how much loyalty and how much you've given to them, they don't give a shit. And they will kick you to the curb ASAP so the shareholders get more money.
And HR mandates that you only get 10 minutes notice.
Yeah.
Even if you're not getting removed for fault. Like,
yeah,
if the company's cutting people, you get 10 minutes notice, right? But they ask for everything in return.
Yeah, they want you to stay late, come in on Saturdays, do all this stuff. And so I think soldiers or military folks have to find that balance of standing up for themselves and realizing, like you said, you bring a lot to the table, but don't go into this thing half baked to think that there's going to be some loyalty or some, and it's different where you're at, because your clients are the ones that are it's a different dynamic, I guess.
Well, they're coming for help. They're coming to you. They're asking you for help.
Whereas we were providing a service to make rich people
richer
in Chicago for us, more money. But so hey, we talked about the horse stuff, but we didn't really put a name to it. It's called the Equine Valor Project.
Yep.
And you can go to, you have a website. It's up right now. It's equinevalorproject.com. You can go there. It's pretty cool. It's got the, I get the symbolism with the horse's eye now that I'm looking at it after the story. There's a donate button. You can click on the EVP program. It'll kind of tell you through it. There's a couple good videos in there, and it's pretty cool. What's the big thing you got coming up? Potential? Do you want to talk about that, or is
sure.
it too early to talk about?
No, it's fine. So we have. This is kind of like our rebrand.
Yep. Fuck, my bad.
Sorry,
my God.
Keep going. And
What an
go.
asshole.
Yeah, so this is kind of our rebranding, if you will, like release party, if you will. So once we transition, we shot a horse video back, I don't know, 2000 and I don't know.
Yeah, it was like 18 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's about right. 18 months. So it was really good. It was me and Ryan out there talking about it. So that was the first time that I took him to the horses. Not that, like riding was going to be like this thing, but the whole point is just being out there. And we shot that in 3 hours, no script, cameras roll. And honestly, so the guy, Kyle Maddox Lawrence, unhinged, Kyle is an amazing person. And what's interesting is that I found out that he wanted to do something because he lost his brother to PTSD. He was a Marine, lost him in 2010, wanted to do something, but didn't want to make it about his brother. And he wanted to help try to build awareness for, guys that are suffering and, ultimately ending it, right? So he heard about me and Ryan's story because, interesting, me and Ryan have now become like very close. He's like a little brother to me now. I try to do all that I can for him and make sure that he's straight. We shoot that video, and then we ended up changing barns. And then me and Kyle and came very close during that process because honestly, it's not comfortable. And then you find out like his story. I didn't know that when we were shooting, and then it made it even that much more powerful.
Yeah.
And then we were like, hey, we need to shoot an update because like this is good. Like this story is powerful. So if you go to my Instagram or our Facebook page or our website, it auto-populates to our website. Whenever I post something to our website, it posts on our Facebook page, it posts to our website. And if you look, so we shot another video probably, I would say 2 months ago now. And honestly, super amazing, super powerful, but that's supposed to be kind of a release that we're going to do at a local place. And then we're going to have like all the people that are involved that are in the local area that want to like get involved. We want to promote that so that they can come down. And then that's the first actual viewing of the full. It's only a 9-minute video. It's not a movie, right? It's a 9-minute video. But seriously, it did such a good job. Like it is Discovery Channel quality. But that is the whole point is we're trying to raise money to buy 2 new horses. Because those Gypsy Vanners are just a little small. We're trying to buy 2 new horses to help larger, veterans, because like little guys can ride those horses, but not big guys. So
yeah, if people want to donate money, is the best place to go to the website to do that?
Yep. So there's just a donate now button that goes right to our feeder page. The ultimate goal is to grow this program, and then while I'm creating collaborative partnerships with other veteran nonprofits in the area and then ultimately across the nation, because, maybe horses aren't your thing. Maybe, like Reveille.
Maybe,
right?
maybe guitar building with.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I've already talked to Ben about that. Like, hey, we're going to be collaborative partners in some capacity. The hope is that we are able to create enough money with this that we can then replace that. You have Not Lucky Fishing here in Savannah, which Jimmy Armel, which I'm a huge fan. And there's other programs. There's Robert Kendall's. He teaches scuba diving, and he'll take somebody that can't hardly do anything, and he'll teach people how to do scuba diving in their backyard, in their pool. even with somebody that can't swim themselves, and they'll have 2 safety divers and 1 person, and so 3 total. 1 drives them, the other people are watching their eyes, and the other person's watching their stuff, and they'll get everybody signed up and then take these veterans down to the Keys and do freaking open water, blue water, freaking scuba diving with these people. How freaking cool is that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not just because I want to be able to offer a menu of options for veterans, right? You want to do cooking, woodworking, building this, like you want to get on horses, because eventually I want to have other collaborative or like partnerships with other horse organizations that to have almost the crawl, walk, run, right? So you can come and learn horse stuff and horse handling, horse safety, all this, and then some basic riding to like more advanced riding, and then have an option or a partnership with another place that teaches the Yellowstone, like the most advanced riding possible. So we have the whole thing. And then seriously, dude, like how cool is that? So if you ultimately Thad King moves to Oklahoma, you could go to a website, see what options are there, and plug right into a network and get support. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and we'll put Equine Valor Project up on our webpage. If you go to aloneandunafraid.org, look for the partners tab, and that has all of our partners that we we're just hyping their stuff, and we'll put one in there for Equine Valor Project. So we're kind of partner with Reveille, Armed Forces Foundation, Tyler, what's it called? Allied Forces
Foundation. Yes,
I want to say Allied Forces
You're welcome
Foundation.
for that one. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Guardian Revival, the mission.
95% of your homepage is what you're telling me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your fingers and everything.
Did you do Guardian Revival too? Did you do that one?
I know all of them. Yeah.
The Mission Within and the Davis Focus Project. And
started that one.
Literally just connected with him.
With
so
Brandon Davis.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to get something going. So love that. So, and that's kind of where this goes, is that, and so where mortgage is going to come into play is that now I'm trying to get more sponsorship type things from either like, you want to be a realtor partner with me, and like the VA Mortgage Academy team, you can help promote our stuff, and you can say you're a veteran supporter, but then at your closing, you're going to donate a portion of your closing to the nonprofit or one of these 8 or 9 nonprofit. I mean, how cool is this? Like you're closing a part of the commission that is in this transaction, and you at the closing table get to select what nonprofit it's going to go to.
Yeah.
I want to pick your brain about that cool. later on, because me and a couple of buddies have been talking about, me, Keith, and John for the Flow State. We're talking about doing something similar to that, just whenever I can get to that point.
Dude,
I want to
tell me what. Let's have a conversation. Whatever it is, let's partner up. If you're in it, I'm in. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. What episode was John's episode? 32? Was it 32?
Oh man, why are you always coming out with numbers and shit?
This is you gotta have this.
You know what it is? It's purple.
It's blurple.
Yeah. So also, if you're interested in a mortgage, you can go over to Danny's. His mortgage website is www.u, just the letter U, mortgage.com. And then you can search for him, or if you literally just type Danny Archer mortgage in Google, you're the first hit that comes up.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Did they SEO all that stuff for you guys, or did you have to do all that?
I do that.
Man, maybe you should SEO our shit. Like we suck
right now. So the easiest thing also is just like social
Tyler, why don't
media.
you SEO our shit?
Because you don't have a fucking job, Thad.
That is true. And it is not super hard. But no, like connect Danny Archer, your mortgage guy on Instagram.
Is that what it is? Oh, is that your website?
That's my Instagram. Honestly, like I post everything initially on Instagram. Okay. Like I'm all over social media. If you can't find me, you're an idiot. Like that's it. You should probably not get in mortgage if you can't find me.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't buy a house.
I've made it as simple as possible. Like that's literally the whole. I made a point today. Like I made a post today that was literally like, why do I post? Like, it's because, and I close it, it's because I do all of this because I want to talk to you.
Yeah. I like it. Oh, I got it right here.
Number 29.
We'll put all this in the links to,
So many.
or we'll put all this in the
nuggets.
show notes. Oh, you got a shit ton of videos on your Instagram.
He's
Dude, I'm
famous.
telling you, no. So listen, I'll tell you, this is how it happened. Remember how I said get into the business and the market was tough, and then if you have never done anything and you're working with a realtor that's starving, and they have a deal, why would they give it to an unknown whenever they've been working with this person for 7 years, right?
Right.
So I realized I was pissing up the wrong tree. I needed to cut the realtors out of the equation. And I realized with my network, if I started to create a lot of posts and I made people aware that I'm a person that they could call and ask questions, they will reach out.
Yeah.
And so in April of last year, I started the post.
Yeah.
April of last year, look how many posts I have.
Yeah, you have a shit ton, and they get better. I remember when you first started doing it, they were good, but you can, but now you're really good. They're like, when you first started doing it, you still had hair, and you still had what?
Just say he's really good again. Just say it again.
Yeah,
it's one of the best I've ever seen.
But understand, like, look, here's the other thing. If you're going to deal with somebody, and you try to Google who you're going to work with, and you Google one dude and you see Ish, and you Google the other dude and you see everything, who are you going to work with?
Yeah.
And so and just like how you reached out, if I post, this is what happens. I post, and I will get 1 to 3 people that'll reach out from the network.
Yeah, that's how
random. Yeah,
that's how this podcast has been for us. You know, like we, somebody will, like, I feel like I want to quit all the time, and somebody will be like, dude, like today I was getting my hair cut. My barber's like, dude, those were banger episodes. It was so good. And I was like, oh, Tyler and I thought that one was shit. And the ones that we think are shit, people love. And maybe we need to
hopefully this one isn't a shit one, but
yeah,
I mean, who knows?
yeah.
No, we love this one. That means it's not going to do well.
Yeah.
Look, well, like you said, you're going to make this into a bunch of clips too, right?
Yeah. We'll have we'll clip it up and put it on our social media. And
can you send me some roughs with that too, that I can do the same thing?
Yeah. You can do the same thing. What's our Instagram handle, Tyler? What's it called?
You think we'd have this shit down by now?
I love feet.
Yeah. Stinky feet.
It's like
it doesn't even pertain at all. It's ridiculous.
Tickle toes.
Buttholes and
buttholes and helicopters.
Yeah, buttholes and helicopters.
Alone _and_ unafraid.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, why don't you guys follow me and I'll follow you real quick?
Oh yeah, and
Alone,
I don't know how to do that. Tyler's got it. Engage
_.
I'm like the old man when it comes to
following us.
You're, you know what? Because I did my prep. I did my freaking mission.
You didn't even know. You didn't even know. You were probably sitting on the toilet.
Dude, welcome to aging. Seriously, I probably did, because I'll do things all the time. Like, I have no idea. I've never heard of that person in my life. Like, oh shit.
Oh, we worked together for 20 years.
Dude, have you had stuff like on LinkedIn where I'll have whole conversations with people on LinkedIn that I didn't know. I just connected up with them on LinkedIn, and then like 6 or 8 months later, like I actually meet them in real life, and I fucking totally forgot. And they're like, "Yeah, dude, we've been talking on LinkedIn," and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah, vaguely that."
Dude, I talk to so many people. Like that. I probably do 20 plus phone calls a day.
Shit.
However many text messages and emails, and I mean my shit's blowing up right now while we're going. I can't even tell you how many texts I've gotten.
Jeez.
But
well, as we kind of come to the end here, what's next? You got the Equine Valor Project, the grand reopening.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. You know what? I forgot that did Meat Plow stick in B Company? Did that stick?
Yeah, I have a B3 Meat Plow coffee cup downstairs.
So for the people that don't listen, that don't know the story, so when Danny came to Charlie Company,
you can pause. I'll go get it.
Yeah, go get it. I'm gonna pee real quick too.
Oh, cool.
2 seconds.
Can I pee too then?
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Keep this in.
Yeah. We had a pee break.
Dude, I have to pee so bad, but I ran back up.
Go pee. You got plenty of time. Like we can go ahead. You got time.
Are you going to name this one Buttholes and Helicopters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can restart that question.
Yeah. All right. So we're back. Pee break complete. Yeah. So Danny comes over to Charlie Company, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna call you Meat Plow because like you're like a human bulldozer of like words and actions. You know.
Look, you had some lighter personalities there. You needed a little spice.
That's just like, I must say it. It's just a 60 guy trait, I think.
Nah, that's just that was just Charlie 3. I think it depends on where you go.
It's so funny because I don't even remember where maybe I was out flying or something, and then what was Gillespie drew the Meat Plow on my little dry erase board.
Yeah,
and you started, dude. You're just like a plow, like a meat plow. You just like plow through people, and so. Yeah, go ahead. Like that's
that's where I came up with that, and I got the term from the Stone Temple Pilots song "Meat Plow," which if you don't know that song,
was a song, I didn't,
dude. It's the very first song off their second album. It's the very first song on. Back then, it was a tape. Oh, look at that!
That's amazing.
Well, that's what we got. What are we going to call this episode? Because should we call it Meat Plow or Buttholes and Helicopters?
People won't know who Meat Plow is, though. But
they
Danny
do
Archer
now.
Meat Plow, I guess.
Yeah,
Danny Meat Plow Archer.
Yeah. Well, I can put that on the title. I just got to come up with. I mean, on the cover, which I got to do tonight. But
you got a lot of work ahead of you.
But I don't have a job, so
this is your job. It just doesn't pay.
You know what? I haven't really done. Tyler's gonna hate me for this, but I've like completely disengaged from like fucking everything. Like the only thing I do is I keep the house clean, I fold the clothes, I keep my lady happy with making her dinner, and I do the laundry, and I'm Mr. Mom, and it's
I can only do that so long.
Well, yeah, I'm coming to the end of it where I'm like, okay, I gotta do something here. So
I don't remember my last day off,
dude. It's well, I tell you what, taking care. I have one teenager at home. I don't know how the fuck my wife did this with 3 small kids, with me being gone all the time. Like,
dude, I'll tell you, when I retired, like, you know, I was dad cab.
Yeah.
And dude,
it's draining.
Take him to school. Go back. Oh, there's a doctor's appointment, and you come back, and then you got to go pick him up, and then you come back, and then there's an activity, and then there's another activity, and then, like, dude,
I feel like this is the same as doing aerial refueling, and you're just in obs the whole time. You're in the observation position, waiting to get gas, because there's not enough time to really do anything because you've got to run them everywhere, and so there's no real time to get anything done in between. So anyways, hey man, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. What's next for you personally? What's you're working on the Equine Valor project? You got anything else going on?
I'm just growing the business right now, building that network across the United States and fortifying here in Savannah. Look, I love that I can mesh both my work and my passion project together. And, you know, if you're collectively helping veterans and you're a veteran and you're on the right path, and I will tell you, if you're on the right path, I've learned this, if you're on the right path, the universe will provide.
Yeah.
Things will just, like, if you're getting your ass kicked, you need to pivot, because there's something that we didn't talk about that I wanted to, because as dudes are getting
let's talk about it.
As dudes are getting out, they only know that I need to make lemonade out of shit water. Like, I don't care what it is, we're doing this, right? And you're going to get out and get a job, and you think I have to do this for the next 20 years and make it work awesome.
Yeah.
And the one thing, being retired and disabled, you do not. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to pivot, and it's okay to pivot more than once.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because the thing is, and that is a complete mental shift because you're a no-fail person. So all you know is succeed. Work every angle, exploit every opportunity, and then maximize the effect, and then push forward. And now you don't have to. Like if you get out and you don't like it, just like you did. Unfortunately, you did it for what, 6 years? You know, like
Yeah, it's
like
6 years.
you're an idiot. Like, but when but
Yeah.
I say this is like, but you had to walk that path to find there. It's all a journey, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all of the struggles and things are all the path to get you to a spot. And
Yeah.
it's all the lessons learned that you learned along the way that make you who you are now. Or make you, so like you need to embrace those. That's why like embracing the suck is a skill set. And if you've never done it, you better get right with it. But now I don't have to. If it sucks and it's terrible, like, you know, if I don't feel good about it, I pivot. You know, and it's not that I'm a quitter. That's not it at all. Like I'm on my mission. You know what? My mission is everywhere on the freaking internet, right? Like that's easy.
Yeah.
You know, he's about helping veterans. Like that's it. And that's why, like, you know, when I talk to a realtor, I'm like, oh, you have your VA guy, really? Like I'm a combat multiplier to your team, and that sounds totally cocky, right? But there's nobody that's going to coach, teach, mentor that person like I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna like, dude, you're getting out of the military. I know how to, like, all of the things required to help you financially, document your future income, make sure your mental well-being is taken care of, like all that stuff. Here's another one that we don't talk about: veteran spouse support groups. My wife is a counselor in a veteran spouse support group. I'll actually shoot you a link to that page because guess what? You're dealing with people like us. It's not easy, let alone dealing with running the house during the turmoil and all that other shit, right? If you survived it or you got here or whatever, there's not a lot for the spouse. So that like for us, like at the horse program, eventually I want to have a spouse program.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty good idea because, you know, where Tyler and I live
I have only great ideas. Have you not figured that out yet?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Where we live, there's not a lot of military. Yeah. My bad.
My God. Seriously. 95% of your website is me. But anyways, fine.
Yeah. We're just gonna call it Archer Alone and Unafraid.
Holy shit.
Tyler kind of lived that. Tyler's really good at that because he's always reminding, like, it's not just one thing, you know, like you've got to try a bunch of different stuff. And I'm still very much in the mindset of like,
what's the one thing that's going to save me?
It's the one thing that's going to save, you know, and it's just, I've just kind of got to get past that.
You do.
So
you need to dip your toes in a couple of different things, but this is a great path because this, I assure you, this will lead to something else.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it. Everybody go over to equinevalorproject.com, give some money. Don't be a cheapskate. Also, is our GoFundMe still up?
It's still kicking.
Oh yeah. What's the web address for that?
I sent it to you. Did you put it on the website?
Fuck, I didn't.
Wow.
Because
we're doing it live.
Listen,
doing it live.
I had a lot of stuff going on. Okay, I watched a shitload. I watched a bunch of movies on my Superbox. But I'm getting to the end of the internet, so I'm pretty sure after next week I'm going to be productive. But go over to Equine Valor Project. You can go over to aloneandunafraid.org. We'll have a link to Equine Valor Project as well. It'll be in the show notes. We'll also link to Danny's mortgage stuff. If you're interested in getting a mortgage or you want to maybe pivot into a mortgage career, talk to Danny. He can help you out.
And I just sent you the link to the Veteran Spousal Support Network. I want you to put that on your web.
I will put that on the show notes as well. I got it. And
is there an Instagram for that?
I don't know that they're that yet.
I can post a link in the stories too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's cool. It looks good. So I'll put all that in the show notes. And then once you know when the grand reopening is or the launch party, let me know. I'll update the episode and I'll put it in there, and then we can get the word out, especially for the local Savannah and Low Country, South Carolina crews if they want to come over and support. But thanks for hanging out with us, man. I really appreciate it.
No, I love what you guys got going on. This is great. It's good to kind of get back on here and see some familiar faces, talk some shop. You know, it's always good story time. I don't do story time ever anymore because I learned you don't tell a civilian a story because they can't take it. And their eyes just like, whoa. And then they're like, oh, you see that dog over there? That's weird because they just can't, you know, like, and then I'm like, I will never do that ever again.
It's like hanging out at your daughter's friend's birthday party and talking to their parents. Like, so what did you do? Like, I worked on helicopters. It's like, oh, like how much? Like, I always hesitate to be like, yeah, I was a door gunner, right? Because that's a term everybody can understand. And then it's just like, oh, and you just maybe, and then of course I say something fucked up just because of who I am, and then it's just like,
welcome to me.
They don't know what to say.
Yeah, they're like, can your kid still hang out with my kid? I'm not trying to ruin my daughter's life any more than I already have. I promise I'll be somewhere else.
Yeah. No, this is good stuff, guys. I'm really, really proud of what you're doing. It's good to get the people out there or get the people on here, tell the stories, do whatever it is, like build the network, because it's going to be surprising how many people from our network are doing things like this collectively to help veterans, because you just can't help it.
Yeah. I love it, man. It's great. It's good to see. I mean, I see you on the videos, but it's good to see you. I mean, I talked to you the other day on the phone, but it's good to see your face.
Yeah,
and Tyler, I saw your face Friday, so I will.
Tyler's got epic hair that I'm super jealous of. I could only match that if I let my ear hair grow.
Yeah, and you do have some pretty good ear hair. You've always had pretty good ear hair.
Yeah, that's true. You've always had good ear hair.
I remember I asked you for one piece of advice. I was like, maybe it was in Iraq, and I was like, hey, what's like the one thing you wish you would have done, you know, throughout your whole career? Looking back on it, you're like, moisturize my face, I think is what you told me.
Not bad.
And that was it.
Black does not crack because they use lotion forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they got it. Like, I'm an idiot. I should totally be lotioning.
Yeah. That's facts, man. I wish when I was younger, like, I would have listened to people about sunscreen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right,
now I'm just permanently red. So.
All right.
Well, awesome, man. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Tyler. Do you have any parting words?
No
thoughts?
I have no thoughts. I'm a smooth surface.
Reach out to me. Let's talk about your flow state.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's something eventually, once I can shed this day job and focus more on the other stuff, then I'll have the capacity to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll put all the links in the show notes. We do have a GoFundMe for this show to help offset some of the. It does cost us money to produce these, so if you feel so inclined, we really hate doing this, but Tyler set it up, and we'd really appreciate it. But again, everybody's asking for money, so please give to Equine Valor Foundation or Equine Valor Project if you're so inclined, especially if you're in the Savannah area. Any little bit helps. Just go by there, help out. So awesome. Well,
thank you so much.
All right.
Cheer.
That sounds like
cheer.
What's Jay-Z? Jay-Z.
Cheer.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Right,
bye, guys.